we're on time. This counts. This counts. We're on time. Can anybody tell what I was doing? Did I get all my settings right? Think so. Yeah, it looks, you know what? Everything looks good. Now live on my channel. I'm here. I'm here. This is how I was killing the morning. I was killing the morning like this. Look at this over here. Oh, look at that. What's even going on? And then we're gonna go high tech again. So we got red and blue. Right? We got red and blue, which means I had to buy wheels, red and blue. And then I was like, well, what am I gonna do about foams? Because I need 8 of them. So this was the situation earlier. Wow, that's really overexposing. That was the situation earlier. I free-handed all of them. All of them. Which pill is the one to take? You know what? I didn't know they made gray tires. I'm trying to remember. The red pill takes you to reality? Is that right? Or does the red pill make... I don't remember. I genuinely don't remember. Yeah, there are red ones now. And... oh, those aren't stuck well enough. Same sort of thing. I'm sure they do make gray tires. Put the blue ones on Bruce? Absolutely not. Bruce only fits one tire. The Trepador. Gross. I honestly can't remember. I think it's the red pill. I think it's the red one. They are surprisingly, yeah, well, like, I still contend that they are a rubber, but they're not rubber like as we know it for tires. I mean, and it's really, I mean, this is as heavily belted as anything you'd see, and it does not matter. Like, you can't. They're basically imprecise. The red pill wakes you out of the matrix. Yes, because I seem to recall something in the Twitter area, which is red pilled. Sound is low. Let me make sure. The power went out for about. Yep, that's why. Okay, hold on. Nope. Okay, still going. Logitech G Hub is not booting again. And the last time it did this, I had to restart the computer. I can turn up headphone. Wait. No, I can just I can turn up the mic, I think. Yeah, Logitech G Hub once again. Watch. Let's drag this over here, and we'll minimize this, and we'll close that. I don't know why this is being the way it is. Oh, I can just drag this over here like this. Okay. Now if I do this, nope, it's still there. Okay. I have like a pop-out tab that won't go away. There we go. All right. So I can turn this up, but here's why. And I never even thought to check it. So, it's the dumbest. It's so stupid. I would have to restart the computer again, and it just got restarted, so I would have to restart the computer again to make this work. Oh, it's a nice little morning. Oh no, this has nothing to do with Apple at all. 0 to do with Apple. This is 100% Logitech, because it's done this twice before. So if we do, okay, let me know. How about there? More, less, or more? Less or more or less? Because the more, the sound level meter doesn't know. Okay, that's basically reference. That's at 0. I don't know if I can turn it up more than that. And I can't muffled just a bit top end. Yeah, I think it's going to clip is why. Mic aux, left right sync offset monitor out, yada yada yada. Yeah, okay. I can't nope. Oh, it's loud enough? Okay. It's not the Mac's fault, it's the software's fault for crashing. Yeah. Because it crashes regularly and will not relaunch. Anyone who says more are trolling. Yeah, this is as loud as it goes. The audio is spot on in the moment. All right, then we're good. I don't have to worry about it. So what's everybody's what's everybody doing here in the still new year? What are we up to? I'm up to the same exact uh, nonsense that I always am. Um, People are kind enough to send things in. I've got the Yikong over here still underway. If I forget to mention it later, there's a video today, 4 o'clock video. Oh, Charles with the 5, and I missed 5 by somebody else, and 10, and if it's 10, I have to assume it's Mr. Turner. I have to assume. My sound needs to be a few points higher than usual. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, the mic sounds good. It sounds a lot better with the software because the software also has some sort of noise canceling um, witchery going on, stuff that I don't claim to understand. All I know is it sounds better with Blue Voice, but when we were running this thing originally, we didn't have I didn't even have the software installed. So, oh, Steve hit Boomslang. Well, he is subscribed, I guess. -6 Fahrenheit. Pass. Does the mic use active noise canceling? Yeah, it has a whole software suite that does a whole bunch of things. It has like voice presets and oh, we're not doing the wheels. So, we're not giving away um what I've been calling the Lloyd Bomination. We're not giving the Lloyd Bomination away today because the weather this past week in Southern California, well, in painting terms, for as far as a time to paint something, it is not. It's not now. Now is not the time to paint something. The wind gusts this morning, the peak wind gusts were 26 miles an hour, and it blew all the lawn ornaments over. And before that, we had a couple days where it was just genuinely cold. It was just genuinely cold. So I'm gonna get it painted, but I knew like yesterday would have been the only time to do it, and I want to drive it before I give it away. I want to drive it, all painted and finished and whatnot. Spin Susan, please. I Full confession. I dropped Susan. She was on the corner of the bench, and I knocked her off the bench. She's been spinning a little. I don't know if she's. If anything, she feels a little loose. Let's see. No, she's all right. She's all right. She's all right. But because it's too much work for me, we're gonna go back to a two-pronged approach to giving away rigs. We figured out where to send the trail runner, and by we, I mean you chuckleheads. So it's either going to be up to you, or we said it half jokingly on the Discord this morning. But I mentioned this earlier, right? So let me get the fine tune. Let's get back up to 6 volts. So that is, come on. Got it. 6 volts. That is 6 volts. Look at those two little guys back there. Look at those guys over there. That is an HPI Racing crawler spec 35 turn. That is the stock motor that came out of the Venture Wayfinder. Okay? So 35 turns is question mark is what in kV? Because what is that thing that we're constantly doing? We're trying to do the mental math to convert turns to kV. So this is all of the servo testing gubbins are kind of pushed over here out of the way. I've got the alligator clips on there. Just this morning, I hit the lathe and I made this guy, a little piece of aluminum. And you might ask, well, how did you make sure that it was centered so that you know it's centered and it's not going to go pretty easily? What I did is I took a Dremel and I attacked a reedy one of these. I cut the tabs off the back of this, pulled the rotor out, clamped the rotor into the lathe, put this on the end of it, and turned it down on the lathe that way. So I used this as my chuck. And then I painted it and left a silver spot for the thing. What's it? Tachometer. I left a spot for the tachometer. So I was tinkering with this yesterday, of all times, and I was thinking, so typically kV means RPM at 1 volt, but I found particularly with bushing fitted motors like this one, if you test it at 1 volt, the RPMs will just continue to speed up and speed up and speed up and speed up. So okay, lightweight always. I'm just going to call you that. It doesn't matter what your screen name is. What would be the advantage of 7.4 versus 6? I did it by 6 because then in my head the math is easier. Because I just take the RPM readout and I divide it by 6, and then that will give you an honest to gosh kV rating. I mean, I guess it would be the same at 7.4. You know what we can do? Oh, it's the standard? Here's what we can do. We can do this. Look at that watt. Look at that watt readout. So around 5 watts unloaded at 6 volts. We got this guy right here, and we go like this. About 8,700. Yeah, bounces around a bit, but I'd call it 8,700. All right. And now let's I'm okay. When I first started to assemble the parts for the servo tester, I built the whole thing and I put it all together. And I flipped the power switch on the back of this, and this knob was cranked all the way, and it went to 30 volts. And all of the stuff that was attached exploded. So now, if I make any adjustment to this thing at all, I unplug it. It is so Okay, we can probably get there on the fine now. 7.4. Okay. So what did I say? 8,700? 8,700. All right. 8,700 divided by 6 is exactly 1450. So a 35 turn motor seems to be about 1450. Oh my God. Here's what we're going to do. In 14 minutes. All right? Are you ready? In 14 minutes at 12:30, we're turning this off. We're just going to turn it off, and all of you need to be ready and waiting, and then we're going to turn it back on again, because every time somebody joins in, I'm going to hear the audio sounds weird. So I'm going to reboot the computer. This is a Mac Studio. It takes about 30 seconds to reboot. And we're just gonna start again. So we're gonna stream from 12 to 12:30, and then we're gonna stream from like 12:32 to our usual time. See, half the people say the audio is perfectly fine. I don't know what it sounds like, and my backup headphones, so I could hear myself, I don't know where I put them. I could just plug them into the side of the microphone. I don't know what it sounds like. Yes, different brand motors will have a slightly different kV for turns. I've tested a couple of 35 turns, and it seems to be right about between 1450 and 1550. What are they talking about the sound? It sounds the same. Yeah, the audio doesn't sound weird to me. There's a tiny bit of echo or reverb. Oh, that's actually probably the building. Because we don't have the active noise cancellation. Can I see a close up of those giant vent plugs from the color tires? Oh, no, I'm cutting lugs off. I'm matching these to these. So I'm cutting lugs off. So that's what the forbidden licorice chips are. Yes, they are very big, and we can so they are a little bit sticky. You can mush them together into a pile. The first few words you say, the volume dumps way down, then slowly raises back up. That's weird. Sounds just like every other stream. All right. So the people of the chat, your new job is when somebody appears in there and says the audio sounds weird, tell them. I don't think I can Yeah, I'm doing red versus blue. Red versus blue. And I cut up all of the stock inserts because for the second test, I just unmounted these right now. And when I did the second test, I stole these inserts. Because they're the only, fatter for sure. But basically, 2.2 and 4.5 on the inside is not an insert that, at least I don't know about anybody else, but it's not an insert that I have lying around. So, okay, 7.4. 7.4. Let's see. Well, it sounds spicier, and we went from 5 watts to 6 1/4, something like that. 10,000. Oh, wait. There we go. 10.7. What would you say? I'm going to go 10.725. 10.725 sounds about right. 10.725 divided by 7.4. Okay. So, that's 1449.3. So we're still 1450. It doesn't seem to make much of a difference on that motor. But now, yeah, the same result to within. Okay, then we'll divide that by 1450. That is 9995% accurate. What's the rough KV on a 27 turn? Do I have a 27 turn on the bench? On the bench currently, I've got Reedy 14 and 16s, one of 550, one of 540, Dynamite 35 turn, FMS 35, Titan 21, Axial 35 sealed can, Yikong 32, Tekin T35 heavy duty, Quick Run 30 turn. I've got regular 540s, rebuildable end bells in 35, 45, 55. Well, I'm sorry, throw in a 30 as well. 80, 85. I've got an old Tamiya CR tuned 35. Honestly, I'm right there. I'm right there with Robert the Computer Guy. I'm really curious about the Reedy. Do memberships not get handed out to people who don't already have a membership? No, no, no. Everybody is eligible except for one group. I am in that group. Users need to allow gift memberships. Apparently, there's a setting to turn that on. And how I know I don't have that setting is I have. Some say it's because the age of the account. I'm not sure what it is explicitly, but I have what's called a brand account, and brand accounts cannot receive gifted memberships. So apparently it doesn't happen often, but there is a chance that you're a brand account. If you've had your YouTube, if you've had the same ID for a long, long time, I've only ever had one YouTube ID, so my YouTube goes back to like 2006. Is there a possibility that there's linearity between turns that you could exploit? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that was the thing. The men from faraway Scotland. Uh, the only place that I've seen tires sold for actual use that are different colors are in bicycles, primarily in bicycles, BMX and mountain bike, and some road bike. There's some colored road bike tires for like fixies and stuff. And of course, you can get colored rubber tires for like drifters because it makes that whatever color the tire is, it makes that color smoke. So that's like, that's a novelty. But what we'd learned on bicycles, particularly with colored tires, is that they just don't work right. They just don't work good. So when I got this set, I was like, oh, they're gonna be terrible. But apparently, it's not the same rules because the vehicle weighs 5 or 6 pounds, and it's asking much different things of tires. Will you test a 3 slot versus a 5 slot in the same turn count? If I have it, and then here's the thing, I probably don't because I gave away so many 5 slots. I've got my 16 turn big block. It's basically brand new. So I'm very curious. What does this come out to KV wise? The 5 slot versus the 3 slot. Because some of the motors, I did not know this. Like the FMS and the Yikong 550s, these are the FMS Power Dash is 5 slot. We will not be able to see down the barrel of this, but it is. I can see 5 slots. How about the other FMS? 1, 2, 3, 5. Yeah, that one's 5 as well. Meanwhile, a Titan, a 21 turn Titan, is absolutely 3 slot. You can see the gigantic. Those magnets are massive. Is there a split in that magnet? No, it's still a 2-pole. And also, KV is the best comparison. Hey, RC Zilla became a grandpa. I'm not going to become a grandpa for the very foreseeable future, and I'm fine with that. I don't want to. I'm still paying for my kids. Paying for grandkids seems like a punishment that I don't deserve yet. I deserve it later. I mean, I'll get there. And it's crazy to me to think that based on when I was born, my grandparents had their kids really late, the war in the middle and whatnot. So my grandmother would have been trying to do the math. My grandmother would have been 54 uh, when I was born. So she didn't become a grandparent until her basically middle 50s. My grandfather was 3 years older, so he was 57. That's how it used to be, though. That was the norm. Like, grandparents were older. Now, my wife works with a guy who's a grandparent at like, he's in his 30s. And to me, that's like, you feel like the math ain't mathing, but I guess there are people that are still people that are still firing them out. I almost missed Neil Daniels uh, in need of a rim shot. My sister's pregnant. I'm going to be a dad. I caught it. I caught it. Can you show where you're cutting? I absolutely can. Let me get this one right here. So what I'm doing is along the center. What happens is this lug spacing. Somebody pointed out what the BF Goodrich this is a copy of. It's a BF Goodrich or a Goodyear something, whichever one it's a copy of. I already don't remember. It's too much lug. It's a BFG KO2, right? It's too tight for what we do. It's probably fine on a KO2, but when I do this, you'll notice the whole carcass just deflects uniformly, right? And what's happening is when it collapses, it basically can I do it? Can I do it? Yeah. The lugs will basically just fill up. They look like little shrimps. So the little shrimps will go in like that, right? So what we're doing, let me find the next one. I'm just taking the full center lug off. Did I cut all these center lugs off? I did. Without even paying attention. Yeah, it needs more void. So what I do is I kind of roll it and I give it a snip and I just try to get to about the middle line. It honestly feels like cutting deli meat. It feels like cutting a hot dog. And I think that the color is what's influencing that. And then I go from the other side and you just snip it off and it just leaves it smooth. And then what I also did on the blue ones to loosen up the lugs a little bit more is that on every other outer lug, you've got this little dangly fella right here. So I go snip, and then you pinch, and then snip. So I'm just taking that one out of the. I don't want to weaken the shoulders too much. That looks like a little face with like a little smile on it. He's like, and that's what I do. It is definitely death by 1,000 cuts. Let's throw a. I don't know what I have that's close. Now glue the red chocolate chips to a silicone insert and see if it works. I mean, I don't see why it wouldn't. We drove on just silicone inserts. Got to take something off that outside lug. I almost kind of agree, but so the blue ones have a little bit of time on them. You can see we're already getting some feather on that edge out there. And because of how planked out they are, I don't, and they're basically connected. They're big U's or V's. I don't know how I would remove anything from there. I don't know. I don't know what I would do. Yeah, because they lay down so flat. It is overpopulated on the side. May I trouble you for 4 AA's? Yeah, I have AA batteries. That's crazy. I've and here you want to know what's crazy? People of the internet. So he came into chat to ask for 4 AA batteries, right? Does it seem like a weird thing to ask in a chat for a live stream for 4 AA batteries? Well, the radio's dangling around his neck right over here, so I'm gonna hand him 4 AA batteries. There are people out on the course right now. They're out. They're out driving. So some Amazon AA's contributed. I wish they did just about any other trad pattern. Oh yeah, yeah. I don't I don't know what it is, man. Like I think we've had either this discussion or a discussion semi-parallel to this discussion about like what is the criteria for we're going to make cheap clone tires of stuff. Like this is why the Fusk still stands out as so good. Somebody accidentally cloned the Tusk and we're all the better for it. All right. Oh wait. Oh man. We're going to use technology. Oh, I can just leave it yes or no. This is awesome. All right. We'll give it a few minutes. We'll give it a few minutes. I'm going to mount up a. Let's start with the 16 turn. Oh, let's start with the 16 turn 5 slot 540. It has always been my understanding, and now I know that these things, it's all a lie. Did Hugo just leave? Time to have homemade pizza for dinner. See you later. Oh, he'll be back. He'll be back. So this, if everything I've read is remotely correct, a 16 turn 5 slot should be about the same as that 35 turn 3 slot. Now that doesn't mean anything because I don't know, maybe I heard it wrong and somebody on the Discord said that it was probably from Reddit. I was under the impression that 35 turns was about 1800 kV. But it's not. It's about 1500 kV. So, what's this going to be? Stephen Turner with another 10. Nitro Hobby Big Block 16 turn is 1700 kV published numbers on the site. Okay. All right. We're going to test one. And right now, we're going to test the Reedy. Because we can test back to back 5 slot 16 turns. Ooh, I neglected to do my due diligence. My due diligence is this. Liberty, we do a blurp. We'll do a bloop and we'll do a blurp. I mean, this motor hasn't been running, I don't know, maybe not ever. No load RPM at 7.4 volts, 12,500 plus or minus. Does that say 12%? Good grief. 12% is a fair mad decent amount of range. Holmes has a chart of KV equivalent on his site. I don't, yeah. Linked it in the Discord. Okay, I need to drag my Discord over. Discord is in streamer mode, so presumably I can screen share it. And where'd you put it? I remember reading somewhere that a Traxxas 21 turn is 1800 kV. That's why you don't have to change gearing when you swap to a Fusion. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna find out. Damn you people, I'm becoming addicted to the Wordle. It's not a bad thing to be addicted to, in general. Oh, there we go. Okay. So, I mean, it is obviously it's only home stuff. But he says the Crawlmaster Sport 540/16 turn is 1500 kV. And the 27 turn 540 is 1800. And the 550/21 turn, and then the Traxxas Titan is also 1800. All right. Well, you know what we are? We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. This is the Reedy. So things have been, at least reasonably close so far. Don't explode, Reedy. My arms are wrapped around you. I don't know. I don't know if the mic really picks it up. You could hear a little in it, like the wattage went down. It dropped about a watt, but I could distinctly hear the RPM go up, and it's dropping more, getting down to about 8. Like, what's the like what is the methodology that we should be routinely employing? Like, how long do I need to let it spin? Oh, now it's climbing back up again. All right, so we're going to assume that it's good. 13,475. 13,490. So like 13,475. 13,5. Is that close? Does that mean anything? 13,475 divided by 7.4 is 1,820 kV. That's basically 1,800. I mean, with the margin of error, 20 divided by 1,800. Yeah, that's a margin of less than 1%. So, wouldn't a broken-in motor have less rotation resistance than a brand new one? Yes. Yes. Which is potentially why, like, that motor might have never turned before. So, I mean, most of the time with the stock Reedy stuff, people just take it out of the they take it out of the RTR box, they take that stuff out, and they just throw it away. So now we're going to try a real one. So that was a 16 turn, 5-slot 540 pile of garbage. One of the true torqueless wonders of the world. We are going to replace that with this guy. All of that, when I turned that like that, all of that oil ran back out of that Reedy and onto my hand. Now these are bearings; they don't need it, but I'm trying to get into a rhythm. The raccoon. The raccoon has popped in. All right. Now for something actually good. And it took me altogether too long to get here to figure out that, well, this is all Miata Commuter's fault, because I had long said that I don't like 5-slot. I don't like giving up the amount of power that I have to give up just in exchange for that smoothness. And then Miata Commuter sent me my first one of these. And I mean, it is absolutely a difference to the point where this is the only brush motor I run. Well, different colors, but this is the only brush motor I run. It's a good thing I buy my sweatshirts at the Costco, because I have gotten just today so much stuff on the front of this sweatshirt. It is basically ruined. Woo! Who's making more power? Listen to that. Wah, 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 wah. Wah, 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 wah. It's 12-2. It's 12-2. 12-2 divided by 7.4. 1650. 13 watts, baby. I mean, man, that's like the first proper motor that I've put on this thing. Uh, you can you can tell with your ear holes that that thing is doing more work. Just advance it 3 degrees. I would end up advancing it the wrong way, put it in the rig, and find out that I'm running. It has to be reversed, and then I'd be running 3 degrees of. Are we allowed to say it? Are we allowed to say it? Has it been? Is it fully canceled? 3 degrees of non-advance. What's the kV on that 45 turn in the motor rack? Oh, you know what? Let's find out. I mean, it just like watch this thing turn. Clunk, clunk, clunk. It feels like you're turning the tumblers on a safe. There's so much more resistance in that motor. My wife, I know it's mostly tongue in cheek, but my wife still refuses to acknowledge that a rare earth magnet is a thing. She goes, "That's not a thing." And I go, "Neodymium." And she goes, "Now you're making up words." And I know she does it to infuriate me, but it's funny. Okay, I want positive to the top. Wait, no, we got to do this right. Okay, it's positive on the bottom. And this is the first one where I don't have leads on it, so I have to put the clips directly to the tabs. And what I also have to do is remember it is positive on one side and positive on the bottom, negative on the top. Don't clip them both to the same thing and blow it up. And by that I mean the power supply. Okay. Yes, positive on the bottom, negative on the top. Positive on the bottom, although it doesn't matter, it'll just spin backwards. I can't see the red post. Yes, positive on the bottom. Okay, enjoy. Oh, man. Enjora 45. Just making a mess. My hands are going to smell like this oil for a week. All right. Would the blue tires work as trail tires? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't see why not. How do you clock the motors? If we have one that is marked, it looks it looks like this hobby wing has a little bit of timing retard on it because it looks like the tab has been knocked over. You just loosen the screws and then you rotate the end bell because the screws are actually through to a clamping plate. They don't actually go into the can. They go into the plate and then you can rotate it to advance and retard the timing. And it has markings on both sides. Um, I don't know why because they didn't print. They didn't print any markings to line one up on that side. This is a no name can. Let's see if we have a Yokomo or a Surpass or a proper can. This one, we're going into the crates on the Tamiya. It just has a big 0. And I'm going to guess advance would be that way because it doesn't have any marks the other direction. No marks. The Intigi has no marks at all. The Hack Moto doesn't have any marks. Like they've got the cuts in the can, but they don't have anything on the label to show you where the advance is. The Tekin just has the 0 stamped into the can. Oh, the 5 slot's pretty easy to read. Yeah, and it's at 0. Yeah, crank it, clock it out to 40 degrees. Most of these only go to 20. All right. Positive on the bottom. I'm trying to get the clamps on. There we go. Just, I'm futzing here. Too much advance eats the edge of brushes and crawlers. Huh. All right. I'm on this one over here. Oh, yeah. Let's put this part on before we plug it in. 45 turn Injora Tune Machine. This is a 3 slot. So honestly, at this point, I don't understand if the speed is gonna if the RPM is gonna go up or down. Basically, everything I've seen so far has been either 1850, 1800, 1650, or 1450. Ooh, this guy sounds husky. We'll let him spin a little bit. Watching to see if those watts go up or down. Kind of goes, going down a little bit. Overcoming some resistance. This one has been used prior to the big blocks. Now we're down into the 8s. These were one of the motors that were run in the Twins. They also ran these, the 30 turns. I had bought 2 of the 45 turns, only to find out they were way too slow for those guys. Oh, it was the Stealth X when I was going to run them off of OD3s. Now we're almost down to A watts. 45 3 slot, like 1100 kV. All right, let's see. That's straight up 9600. He sounds like he's suffering. 9600 divided by 7.4. 1300. 1297.297.297.297. 1300. Yeah, who's writing these down? I don't know. That's one of the slower ones that I've seen, particularly at 7.4. Do you ever get that thing? Okay, here's something that doesn't like when your shirt hangs out below your sweatshirt. Ugh, I kind of hate it. I don't like it. Okay, I've cut one lug off of this. All right, let's get going. Cut off some lugs. I was supposed to be in Long Beach yesterday for Anime LA, but they came and they put the new roof on my house yesterday. I don't know if I actually needed to stay home, but I did. I don't know if I did need to stay home, but I did. Hey! Thank you, Charles, for the 5. Thank you, Whiteboard, for the 10. We will spend them on stuff like this. That's what we do around here. We're going to spend it on dumb toy car stuff. Just ask the AI to summarize it after the live ends. AI will AI will perform the task perfectly without errors. I do enjoy. I feel like it's already played out and it's only been going for like 2 days, at least that I've seen it. I get onto the trends late because I'm not a TikToker. But asking Chat GPT to spell strawberry is it's funny. I don't know if it's not hilarious, but it will elicit a quiet and sensible chuckle. I thought Hugo was an AI. No, we saw a picture of his parking lot, so I think that proves that he exists. Well, I don't know if it proves it. Maybe the AIs that have gotten loose are just they're learning. They're learning how to appear as human. Aren't we all robots? Technically, because of the blood-brain barrier, um, we are biological exoskeletons that carry the brains around. Because the brain is its own whole thing. I did tell my kid. I felt a little bad about it afterwards. Uh, but I told my kid that if they feel like they need to lose weight, they should just think harder because our brain uses up most of our calories on any given day, which is why I'm continually gaining weight. Well, not now. That was my New Year's thing. I mentioned the New Year's thing, I think. That parking lot was AI generated. You know what? Nowadays it could have been, especially a still image. A still image and the stuff from doorbell cameras. It can all be AI generated and you would never even know because that AI generating that low resolution stuff or still photos, like once they figured out how to do hands, um you can't trust anything anymore. I've already, I began my process of not trusting the internet years ago. Uh but now I really don't trust the internet. If the internet tells me something happened or somebody died, I don't believe it. And where do I go to find out if it's true? I have to go on the internet. So I have to go on the internet and task the internet with telling me that the internet was either true or not. That's not that's not great. We know that Google search is fixed. It's not fair. YouTubers, you know, shout out to my YouTubers. We are all at the absolute whims of the algorithm. Um, the entire YouTube experience is, I want to say, is this right? It's been a long time. I haven't watched the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies in some time, the Chris Pine ones, or the original series. It's the Kobayashi Maru, right? It's the there is no way to win. Like you're just destined to lose, right? That's what it is, right? So that's YouTube. You can do everything perfectly and fail, or you can throw a dart over your shoulder into the air and it go into the bullseye of a dartboard that you didn't know was there. That's how YouTube works. People play off of the notion of going viral when there's no system in place. This is when humanity ends. Let me tell you right now. We're going to get extra artificially deep and non-introspective. When an AI figures out, like becomes predictable. No, I'm sorry, not predictable. Predictive. When an AI can figure out how to make a meme, like how do we know that it's not misspelling strawberry on purpose? What if, think about this, if you dare. What if the AI is misspelling strawberry on purpose? What if it wants to see how viral it can become, right? I mean, once it's aware, and I know there are people that think that computers will never become aware. Oh, they'll become aware. They're going to get there. Will we have to get to alternative storage methods in order to hold what we need to hold? Not really. Not really. The human eye can see more pixels than we need, and we remember far more stuff than we need to remember. When AI can master the nuance of human speech, we're all doomed. Yeah. Yeah. The Billies losing connection? Uh, do you mean physically? Like right now? Like I'm getting shuddery, or do you mean like we're losing connection with being humans? Because it could be both. I'm not dropping any frames on this side, nor do I think I would be, because there's only my oldest is in the house right now, and he plays what's that one? Is it Elden Ring? No. Baldur's Gate? I don't know. He plays one of those games that's really hard, which I don't do. Like I don't play video games to punish myself. If For the three people who are curious, when the big update comes out for Borderlands, and they've not announced it other than to say Q1 2026, so it'll be sometime January, February, March. I'm gonna do some. I'm gonna do some more Borderlands streams when the big update comes out with the DLC character, Cash, the luck based robot, and and it should have more content as well. We're supposed to get a new map area and a whole bunch of stuff. I still play. I play 2 episodes of The Wire worth of Borderlands per day because I ain't no quitter. And it doesn't matter that I've done everything. I'm starting to memorize the map. And I was talking to my buddy that I've been playing Borderlands with since 2007. And I said, what do you think? I mean, how bad is it in the end? I'm starting to remember on the map where stuff spawns in, right? Like if I need to kill this particular thing, I know where to go to find that thing. What has been pushed out of my brain to make room for knowledge of the Borderlands 4 map? You know what the funniest part about that is? Um, Someone mentioning the delays. They bumped the Borderlands release up because they announced the release really early. They announced the release like a year before. And they bumped the release because it was slated to come out at the same time as Grand Theft Auto 6. So they moved the release date up by several weeks, almost a month, because they didn't want to release at the same time as Grand Theft Auto 6. And now we might see Man on Mars before we see Grand Theft Auto 6. To the point where it's just a full-fledged meme at this point. Look what we got before we got Grand Theft Auto 6. We got those robots that can help you do physical labor. We still don't have Grand Theft Auto 6. What's your best game of all time? Oh, I don't know if I could do that. I'm going to have to go like I could give you like a top 5. But okay, I'm trying to think. Could I pick the one best game ever? Man, I don't know. Like, if you're to ask me, what was the best driving game or my favorite driving game of all time? Gran Turismo 2. It was also the time that it happened in. Like if you say, okay, Like if we're not talking about Borderlands with a number, if we're talking about Borderlands as a franchise, yeah. For me, yeah. Just in the amount of time, Borderlands the franchise would be my number 1. Second place, the Gran Turismo franchise. Third place, Fallout the franchise. And then it really just splinters out after that. And Fallout gets where it is because um, Fallout for me basically starts at Fallout 3. So it's Fallout, well, New Vegas, Fallout 3, New Vegas, Fallout 4, 76. Way too much time spent on Forza. I got started on Forza at the really low numbers, and I hated it. Their physics were so wrong. I assume their physics are completely correct now, but I was a Gran Turismo guy, and the experience of driving in Gran Turismo 1 and 2 and 3 and then A-Spec and in all of them was so different. And I was working on tuning real world cars at the time, with the sway bars and the suspension and the corner balancing and all that. And all of those principles translated directly over into Gran Turismo. If I made a sway bar change or a spring rate change in Gran Turismo, the vehicle then responded appropriately for the changes that I had made. Whereas in Forza, in some cars had more steering while braking than they did when going in a straight line, and that's not how any of that works. I was on my first online forum that I signed up for ever with the Dr. Isotope name was GTBN, Gran Turismo by the Numbers. Signed up for the GTBN forums, and we used to do online racing. Online racing did not exist. That was not a thing, right? So, I mean, your saves were on a memory card that you stuck in the front of your PlayStation 2. So what we would do is it was gentlemen's rules, and they would pick a car or group of cars, and we would form into teams, and we would have to race specific tracks, and you were allowed X amount of time to practice, and you were allowed X number of runs to submit your timed run. And then some guys would screen record their runs, and then they would upload them, and it was a bunch of Europeans, and my God, there was a Belgian guy that was the fastest thing on earth, to where when you're watching his replays, you're like, this isn't real. This can't be. This is like a computer driving this car as like an exhibition. So I was never very good. I was a middle of the pack guy. So I leaned to my strength, which was FF. I was an FF man. Front engine, front wheel drive. The Mitsubishi FTO was one of my all-time go-tos. Man, I could tune an FTO. I had an FTO in Gran Turismo 2 that probably had close to 30,000 miles on it. Man, did I drive that car. Not even a race trim. It was like a FTO something spec, V spec, G spec, GR spec, something like that. And these are not revisitable. Like you can't go back, We can't go back to GoldenEye on the Nintendo 64, I don't do competitive first person shooters. I'm too old. My reaction times are too slow. And I remember when multiplayer, like deathmatch, was 4 people clustered around the TV with the Nintendo sitting on a cardboard box on the floor because he needed that extra ventilation for it, um, doing GoldenEye or later Perfect Dark um, deathmatch, and nobody was raging and nobody was calling anyone else any sort of racial slur. It was great, absolutely great. We need to bring it back. I want to know when car parts got so expensive. My Accord needs an alternator. Gone are the days of taking it to the generator guy. $450 for remanufacturer because they don't want you to work on it. Uh, I'll add insult to your injury, which is when I was driving my Honda, I got a rewound alternator. I got a 170 amp alternator, which was like, I mean the stock Honda alternator was like 45 amps, and then my stereo was doing the business to that thing, and I ordered that thing from a shop. I want to say I had to order it through a shop, and I think it was $200. I think I spent $200 on my 170, and now a remanufactured OE alternator is 450. I never thought I would live to a time where I would drive down to the Costco and buy $1,000 worth of tires. My Impreza needs a windshield with the eyesight system. It's like $800. Oh, so the Komodo Unity, when I ordered it, that was just the price at A Main Hobbies, and I would have cautiously recommended it at $85. Um, but with their track record over at Furatech, super cautiously recommending anything because your mileage will undoubtedly vary with any Furatech product. I've had more bad luck with Furatech than I've had good luck. I was just blown away that the Unity actually worked. The component amp I found under my passenger seat retails at $11.50. Way. Every time you see a car maker come out with a cool design in the windshield for their logo and the headlight, it's forced to buy a new amp. Yeah, we're all getting ripped off. Don't buy Vanquish, buy a 41011 instead. Instead of for a mullet, you could buy almost three of them. Well, when they were on sale, almost three of them. Just drive around with a cracked windshield. Follow me for more money saving tips. I rolled with a cracked windshield in my Scion for like a year. And then finally, a motorcycle cop. It's always a motorcycle cop. It is always a motorcycle cop. He was bored. He was bored, and the sun must have glinted through the crack in the windshield, which was only on the passenger side, by the way. And pulled me over for it, and I had to get a fix-it ticket, and I had to have it replaced. The only upside in California is that there's basically no shop to drive through to get a windshield. You call the AAA recommended windshield guys, and they come out and they put it on right in your yard. Broke the side window on a brand new 911 ST while detailing it, and the window was thousands for the dealership. Yeah. One of my buddies drove around with a windshield with a literal tree fell on for 3 years. Yeah, I mean, they try to claim that it's for like safety or whatever. I have a rock chip in my windshield on my Subaru, which I know would be an absolute fortune to replace. But I shot the goo, the clear gel into it so that it can't propagate or whatever. It was supposed to like fill the whole thing up and make it invisible. It absolutely did not do that. Um, but that it happened well over a year ago, and that spot has not changed sizes or shape or anything. So I'm just gonna leave it. Yeah, I'm cutting lugs because I gotta mount these, and I ran out of time to do it because yesterday, like an absolute fool, like a fool, the hubris of a fool. I tried to reorganize the bin situation under the bench, and it went worse than ever could have anticipated. I woke up this morning with my back feeling worse than when I went to bed. But the roof's done, and I have a little bit more foot room. So it's not awful. Um, but I certainly didn't clear up everything that I would hoped I could have cleaned up. I do have 3 sheets. State of Washington requires windshield wipers but not windshields. That's awesome. Just wear a helmet. No windshield, helmet with face shield. In Florida, if you have full coverage insurance, you don't have to pay any kind of copay on a new windshield. Oof. I wish they would do that in California, but usually in California, um, if you tried to get your insurance to replace your windshield, they would do it, and then they would just cancel your insurance. They'd be like, "This guy's too expensive." When I'm pinching the lugs, it's pushing the cut back together, so I can't actively see the cut line to figure out where to cut it. Let me see if the next one will do it. Okay, so I think that's the last one right there. And when I do this, sploop. I can't tell if I cut them or not. Look at that. Oh, found a photo of that cracked windshield. Hell yeah. it's it's slightly cracked. It does it does indeed look like somebody fell on it. That's good times. Oh, that reminds me. That reminds me. Okay, so where's he at? There you go. Where's he at? Okay. I think this is tomorrow. So I just raised him up. So that's the sneaky peeky. I just raised him up because the suspension travel with him all the way down. See, that's full compression. We were losing bunch a bunch of suspension travel by having the body down. So I just moved the posts all up 1 peg. So at ride height, it sits like that. It doesn't look terrible. Um, I mean, I would have loved to have left it, lowered, but in the rear, we can't quite fully collapse. All right. So that's why this guy is not leaving today, because I still have a bunch of you know paint. And the kid asked if I had any more bodies that they wanted me to paint. So this one might be going with a with something with a custom. Well, I don't know yet. We're gonna find out. Okay. Did I carry the? Dang it! I carried the dang radio with me. All right. So, in the spirit, remember if you will and if you dare, If you want something, it's gears. Please don't make me pay for shipping. I was digging the bins. All right. Subaru has some of the worst windshield glass. I think I've had 4 windshields for my TC. I have had it 20 years though, so there is that. Okay. They will come just like this. The tire that makes no sense to anyone. Oh yeah. Sputtercrawler says I found an interesting correlation for CMS. The shocks and panhard like to be close to the same length. That is correct. That is one of the reasons why you can't just change shocks. Reddit. And without changing any of the other suspension geometry. Yeah, foam will get you the perfect. They'll get you perfect mesh every time. That's not bad. I could have done way worse. Not bad for eyeballing it. OE Baja Pro X, which if you'll remember, great tire for something for something I don't know. I don't know what you would put these on. A trail rig of some sort, I guess. What TPI? 3? It's like mod 3. About 3. Welcome back aboard JDA79. Welcome aboard Ninjas V1. Thank you, Miata Commuter, for the 5, keeping the Sawtooth alive. Viva La Sawtooth. OE compound, not G8. These are the OEs. I contacted the man from Tennessee and I said, what do you want me to do with them? And he goes, see if somebody wants them. So there they are. Alongside those, not necessarily for them, but if you're a plastic wheel guy, these are the plastic bead locks from the aforementioned Capra RTR. Have those as well. We have 2 sets, which I realized have absolutely no place to be put. They are both in reasonably rough shape. They came in used. Full bore 2.2 Deep Woods, the big ones. And also 2.2 Showdown CRs Duratrax. So both Duratrax. I don't have anything to put these on. And as you can see, they are big. I kept a bunch of boxes. I have not 1, but 2 sets. These are for you if you want to do the work. 2.2 Canyon Trails still mounted. Ask me a question. I'll tell you no lies. Ask me, hey, how many sets of 2.2 Canyon Trails do you have? 7. 7 sets of 2.2s. I have more 1.9s. We've got a couple from the questionable column. This is Miata Commuter's fault. Miata Commuter for the dumbs. For one of the dumbs sent in these 12 hex. They're pretty soft slicks. They were just sitting in a drawer. They were run for that one dumb, and that was it. I don't know if you've got a 4x like a Slash or a Typhon or something. Put those on there and go make some smoke. These are destined for the pit if someone for some crazy reason doesn't want them or does want them. Boom Racing Aggressors, if you'll recall, truly terrible, absolutely, absolutely horrific. They will go in the pit if no one mentions them. This one, somebody's going to email. I know this all the way in, all the way in. Deepwood CRs with Canyon Custom softs in them. I have 6 sets. I have 6 sets. Like here's this set. Oh, I put them in the. I already put them in the drawer. Here's this set. These have 3D. These have squids in them. And then I have the set of Louise with 3D in them. And then I have 2 more sets with Canyon Customs in them in the drawer, not counting the ones that are on vehicles. So it might be more than 6, especially if we include the Louise as well. Brand new, realize it, never touched the ground. You know what they are. You know what they are. They're grabbers. Some grabbers. I don't have foams, but I might be able to find some, but I wouldn't use them anyway. Gravel Stage. These are an excellent trail tire. These were quite recently run on the wife's G-Wagon. And as I was doing my cleaning, you'll never guess what I found in my still new in the bag tire drawer. Brand new set of Gravel Stage, not even removed from the bag. I don't remember buying them twice, but here we are. There's a set of 6 gear in there as well. You can't have those. I'm using those. So some Gravel Stage, because otherwise they're going to sit here and they're going to dry rot. And then we've got, these are glue-ons. I think they're MSTs. These are bead locks. I'm pretty sure they're cross plastic as well. These are glue-ons. These are G-Mades. And these are the elements. These are the elements that came with the grabbers. So 1 set of bead locks, 2 sets of bead locks, 3 sets of bead locks, 2 sets of glue-ons. OE Baja Pro X, Gravel Stage, Deep Woods Aggressors, 2 sets of 2.2 Canyon Trails, 2.2 Showdowns, 2.2 Deep Woods, and then the 1.9 Grabbers. And then, if anyone is interested at all, otherwise I will throw them in the bin for some of the giveaway build, is all of the electronics that came out of the Yukon. Still has the 65 on it. The Dumbo receiver, the radio, the 1060, the 15 kg servo, and if you want it, I don't know why you would, but if you want it, you can have the 32 turn 550 as well. If anybody wants it, I have the shocks as well. I realize that people might use them for something else. Also, the glue-ons are great to make transmitter wheels out of. I don't precisely know how other people would do it, but I know how I do it, which is how I trim the back off of them, and then I just slip them over the foam, and then you put a tire on it, and then you've got a bigger wheel. I've got OE Trepidors somewhere. I don't know where. I cannot find them. They're not on. No, he's on what? What's he on? Oh, I put him back on the Coyote. Yeah, I have OE Trepidors. I would not be opposed to getting rid of the OE Trepidors. I want him down on a 475 tire. I have plenty. I've got some. I have some Boss Man that I'm probably going to put on the Coyote. Yeah, or some Tusks. Boss Man or Tusks or KLRs. Something. All right, I will get those. You will probably, yeah. Each order we'll just pour some confetti into each one. Um, and, it's the usual. Send me an email, and I will get to it. I usually don't look at any of this stuff. All of this stuff will get pushed off of the bench into a box, and I won't look at it until Monday. With the way this, like, if I have to go to Anime Los Angeles at the Long Beach Convention Center on Saturday, I probably won't. Um, I probably won't look at it until Tuesday. I'll take a set of the Deep Woods with the 3Ds. Well, I'm not giving those away, but I mean, it's good to know. I give away a lot of things, but I'm not giving away those. I'm giving away what's right here, and it is first come first serve. Any Canyon contributions are welcome, and I'll just come out and say it because this is the true, honest thing of it. Um, if you say I would like these, I mean, okay, I would like these, and I put them in a box. Well, first I say, what's your address? Why didn't you give me your address? So I'll put them in a box, and I'll or an envelope, and I'll go to my shipping station, and I'll put a label together on shipping it to you, and then I'll email you back, and I'll say shipping's going to be like $8. If you PayPal me $8, I'm going to remember that. Pepperidge Farms will remember. Because that means you're basically not tipping. PayPal is going to take X number of percent, which means I'm going to have to spend about 40, 50, 75 cents to ship that to you. Not counting the boxes, the labels, the packing, all that stuff. Um, just throw a couple bucks on it, man. Pretend you're at the Texas Roadhouse and the waitress gave you extra butter, and then at the end of it told you your meal was comped, and then you're like, well, I was already here to swim. Last time we got our meal comped at a place, I think it was at Chili's. That poor waitress, that poor woman. She was working a section that was entirely too big with entirely too many people in it. And then the kitchen messed up both my order and my wife's order in different ways. So we ended up taking forever to get anything. And she was like, I just had them comp the whole bill. So I just paid her. I just left in a tip what it would have cost to eat. So I tipped her like $30 because I came there to spend $30 anyway. I don't know what would be good for Colorado granite. Um, if your granite is like our granite, on a scale of slipperiness, the unofficial Canyon slippery scale, where 1 is an ice skating rink and 10 is those hardwood floor resurfacing pads, what would you rate your rocks at? Like if you slipped and went down on one knee on the rocks that you drive on, how much flesh would it remove? Or would you just kind of slide harmlessly off of it? No one will share the email. Oh, it's crawlercanyon at gmail.com. Somebody posted it up earlier. Where does slick rock fall on your slippery scale? I would put slick rock at like a like a like a 5. It would peel flesh. Okay. Yeah, then you are good with pretty much anything. Except what you basically don't want is super soft stuff. Like X2SS, no. J Concepts Green is amazing, but if you're on very high grip, it will wear them out fairly quickly. You may well be in the location and climate where G8 is the go-to because it wears so slowly. I mean, where you are, it will probably wear normally. Yeah. Granite is not just granite. You can't just say it's granite. Like what's up at Horseman's is granite, but is granitic, and a lot of the granite around here is what's called decomposing. It's when you tend to see that reddish, orangish, rusty colored granite. So the surface is not smooth at all. The surface basically feels like going like that. It feels like a rough. Yeah, slate and bluestone are the slickest rock surface I've been off-roading all over. Yeah, slate is. Isn't there deep woods in that pile? Yes, there's a set of deep woods with Canyon Custom Softs in them. I showed an additional set of deep woods that have squid inserts in them. Those are mine. I keep missing those. Okay, that one's done. Is this one done? There's always going to be a missed one. No, I think that one's done. All right, so I just need shoulder lugs on 2 more, and then to put beadlock screws on. But I think I'm going to fall asleep first. Recommendations for 4.19 J-Constant inserts for trailing. Sand, mud, and water are primary concern. Okay, I recommend, even if you are the person that argues no venting, whether you're a venter or a non-venter, my recommendation to you is Injora Silicone Blue. That's what you want to get. Injora Blues. For trailing, this is almost all I run. There's one rig. Currently, the wife's is on these because I haven't had time to build her a specific silicone. But for trailing, just put silicones in it. 3D, unless they're really beefy, will get they will get. Do they? Yeah, they fit perfectly in the J Concepts. I don't have. Wait. I almost said I don't. I have to check the drawer. I just mounted a set of tusks. No, I got trenchers, Baja MDZs, Griffins. No. I do not have any unmounted J Concepts 419s right now. They are all mounted. Hello. But yes, I have mounted them, yes. Two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't know how many cuts I actually make. Okay. So 12 and 12 is 24. Times 2 is 48. And then 24 and 24 is another 48. So it's 96. I guess it's 96 cuts per tire. I found that the Class 1 Injora inserts fit the Mias bouncers perfectly. I put the Mias inserts in the bouncer. Oh, that video's not up yet. In an upcoming video, it is fitted with the Mias inserts in the Super Bouncers. And who would have guessed that they fit perfectly? Almost as if someone knew what they were doing when they did it. I know it's rare in this day and age, particularly as I've been working on vehicles lately where they really did not get the cooperation between parts correct. Got the Famanda inserts you recommended for the 1.9 Canyon Trails fit nicely. Yeah. I wish I was mounting tusks right now and not cutting lugs. I mean, I like cutting lugs as much as the next guy. But these are so gummy. I think what it is I'm the most used to cutting lugs on canyon trails. What is the optimal position to vent tires with inserts in the tread or sidewalls? It is. I'll show you right now. I can show you with one of these because two of them are already done. I go. I go that one. That's the size I go with. And I pick a spot and I go like this and I go right through the middle. Pull that out. And why I go bigger is because like you see the size of that hole, and then there's the final hole. Because depending on the tire, and then we go. I mean, I know I did that at 12 o'clock, so go right around the other side, pop it out. Not you. What do you? You can do your choice. You can do 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock. You know, it's whatever you like. Better better performance if you do it in 2 and 8. I'm in a 3 and 9 guy. Like when I'm not doing it on camera, I'm a 3 and 9 guy. Gotta finish cutting them. Silicones work better with sidewall venting in wet conditions. I disagree wholeheartedly. Because the holes are through the tread so that centripetal force can get the water out. If you vent them through the sides, you can't get the water out. Every trail tire I have, save for that one, is vented through the tread and is running a silicone, and there's never any problem with retaining the water. They don't like, if anything, I mean, I understand the thought process. The argument is that the insert will seal the vent. Well, it's only going to seal the vent at the bottom, which means if it seals the vent at the bottom, then when you're driving through water, it's going to fill up with less water. It can't seal both sides because it's vented. There's no point in venting the sidewall because a vented sidewall won't let any water out, but it will let all of the water in. Also, silicone inserts don't typically fully fill the tire. Especially with a tire like this. Like, I mean, if your tire has any type of this, there's no way that the silicone can seal a vent hole. If you could only have one trail rig, what would that build list look like? It would be, I mean, I feel like it would have to be, well, kind of Sheila, basically. BRX, well, no. It would have to be a child of Bruce and Sheila. Because it would have BRX 90s, but it would also have the GCM LRT2. I would go through the whole deal Like it would have a full, like imagine turning an FMS FJ40 into a full on uh into a full on boom racing BRX02. Like full, the hood opens, doors open, tails open, full engine compartment. Like I would lean more into the scalar aspect of it, but I would still request performance of it that it would probably do reluctantly. Listen, Spain. Listen, Spain. You know what? I want to be like those other live streams. Uh, like we don't. Um, pickles. Pickles in chat for Hugo for being a responsible adult and not maintaining the website. Like he should stop devoting all that time to his responsibilities, and he should dedicate some of that time to stuff that doesn't matter to anyone. Because he's there, it is, because he's really slacking on updating the website that I never ever remember to look at, and I often forget that it exists. But we can't give him any slack because he's young, and youth is to be punished because youth is wasted on the young, and he is living proof of that. Yeah, I like, see, he's so young that he just said, I'm a 20-year-old trapped in the body of a 4-year-old. I yearn for the physical health and capabilities I had at the ripe young age of 40. 40 seems like a forgotten, like I barely remember. I could still drink Dr. Pepper when I was 40. He's trying his best, and that's the disappointing part. Oh my god. That is the that's the comment of the day. Oh my god. Yeah, experience is wasted on the old. That's true. Oh. So I was working, couldn't see a lot, just here. The tires on the table, email and pay shipping. Yes, that is correct. Yeah, I know. Adult in a job. Ugh. Yeah, whatever's out here, whether it's the Yikon garbage or whatever, it's all the same process. I wish I had my 40-year-old body back. Yeah. Yeah. I'm in better shape now than I was in my 40s, except for the knee, hip, allergies, eye issue, and tinnitus. You and me both, buddy. You and me both. Except for my ears screaming at me all day. Ooh, hey. Hey, fellow tinnitus sufferers. Do you find what okay, no, 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 this is better. I want to widen the scope. What do you feel is like what if you've been able to if you've been able to put your finger on it, is there anything that seems to make your tinnitus more angry? Like, is there anything that riles you up? Uh, Generally pay for it after you email. I will email you back, usually on Monday or Tuesday, and say how much shipping will be. But as someone posted earlier, if you want to be ahead of the game, if you want to be smarter, if you've emailed and you just say here's $20 for that pair of tires, if you're inside the continental United States, that'll probably do it. But like uh, Ninjans, I don't know where you are, so if you're in Belgium, you probably don't want anything that's here. The guys in the UK know, they know how it works. Like shipping to the UK is greater than the cost of just going someplace and buy it. Silence makes my tinnitus louder. I think that's everybody because your ears are trying to find something to listen to. But like when it started to get windy yesterday, which is what? That's like that's a drop in barometric pressure. I swear it got louder. Also, sound off. Which ear is worse for you? Left for me, all the way. Left ear, way worse. Like I barely have it in my right ear compared to my left ear. My left ear is howling. Sometimes I can kind of forget the right ear. So am I the only one? Am I going to be an unusual case in that I've got it worse in the left than in the right? I would have thought, all the years of the car audio being way too loud, I would have thought right ear, the one that's inside the car. I would have thought left ear would have done better, but no, it's the left ear all the way. It's much worse. My left ear is in stereo. Left ear driving with the window open a lot. Yeah. Same left ear. Many years of only wearing one earbud with too loud of music. Yeah. My left is also substantially worse than the right. Yeah. I also noticed that tinnitus was worse when I went up in altitude. Yeah, changes in barometric pressure. Constant state of flash. Oh, had the right side pipes on the Harley. Yeah. People used to give me the business about okay, and I'm sure. I mean, it's fair. It's a fair point of business. Um, when I was riding the bike all the time, um, I had earbuds in all the time, all the time. I basically, unless I was riding with my wife, I was never on the saddle of a bike without earbuds in, and they had to be monitors with the comply foam tips to mold to your ears because you don't realize that a 30-mile-an-hour wind will just try to blow the earbuds right out of your ears. And people are like, "You're gonna die with though. You can't hear anything." And I was like, "You can't hear anything. It's just that's all you hear." And then because more people, particularly over in Europe, are starting to commute with bikes, they're talking about how if you're exposed to what was it? Is it 85 dB? If you're exposed to 85 dB for more than X number of minutes per day, you are 100% guaranteed uh, some degree of hearing loss. It's way more than that when you're on a motorcycle or a bicycle or anything where your head is out in the open. So it turns out, they find out later, my hearing was already damaged at that point. They find out later that wearing earbuds on the bike is actually saving your hearing because the music is going to be quieter than the roaring of the wind going into your ear holes. I think that's delightful. Also, if you say that you can't safely ride a bike uh, without being able to hear, then how do deaf people do it? Deaf people seem to manage. They go through their whole lives not being able to hear. And I would bet it's too small of a statistic to track, but I'd bet that more hearing people get hit by trains than deaf people get hit by trains because deaf people know how to pay attention. Hearing people just make an assumption. Yeah, so there goes. Great bike 10 miles a day plus swimming and diving as a sport for almost 3 years, all year round, almost every day. Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, I was 7 years on the bike as an adult. You know, how many hours total have I spent on a bicycle in my life? God, I don't know. It was my only form of transportation until I was 16 years old. I test rode motorcycles for Triumph and have to wear the best earplugs I can, and I still have some tinnitus, but there's no way I could ride without plugs, and I can hear my music in the helmet just fine. Yeah. Surprised I can hear anything at all. Yeah. Bike, guns, and mechanic. No tinnitus, but already some loss at 36. Yeah, I didn't have tinnitus yet at 36 either. I want to say in the 40s. It's the same reason that as we get older we can't ride. Oh, I just need to stand. It's the same reason that as we get older we can't ride uh, roller coasters anymore. The bones in our ears start like calcifying. I guess they start firming up, and it messes with your equilibrium, and it messes with your ability to handle this. The checklist is, because it got bumped multiple times, the Tovo C1s are sitting right here, waiting to be tested. There's the Tovos. Not even mounted yet. They are right next to a Turo Trailblades, the fake KLRMs, the C1 fake KLRMs, and Three Brothers Rock Bulls. So the Tovos are up first, followed by the Rock Bulls, followed by the Trailblades, followed by the fake KLRs, and that's just in the tire testing stuff. I've had tinnitus since I was in my early 20s. You were living fast. Would I be interested in testing them inflatable crawler tires as long as they're not haunted? Oof. 4 sets to Ontario. Yeah, you would want to wait. You'd want to wait. When I shipped, remember the huge ones, the big 2.2s. The God, what are they called? You know, the big ones with the giant lugs. Uh, I can see them. Those giant 2.2s that were on the Rift for a while. I shipped those to Canada. It was Kryptonites, USD stickies, Kryptonite USD stickies. It was $40 to send that one set of tires. What do you say about it coming on in your 40s? I'm thinking about it. It was in my 40s when mine started. Yeah, it's the stupid ear bones. It's the stupid ear bones, and it hits people at different times and different rates. Because like my wife lost roller coasters basically first pregnancy, when she got pregnant with the first kid. Uh, that was it. That was literally all she wrote. She can't ride roller coasters. They make her sick immediately. That's a steal. $40 shipping in Canada. It was 4 tires and a padded mailer, and it cost $40. I'm still salty about it. Stupid Canada, acting like they're an island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Chuck Hurley started after he got blew up. Yeah, that'll happen. That'll happen. I've watched too many of those. What is it? It's like experts react or whatever, and it'll be like a surgeon or a doctor or a pilot or a sniper or whoever. And there's always some scene in a movie where there's an explosion and somebody goes flying through the air, and then they just get up, dust themselves off, and go about their business as if nothing happened. And I'm all, no. If an explosion was strong enough to knock you down, you have a concussion. You have been concussed. And the only time I have ever seen it actually addressed in a movie in any way is the A24 movie Warfare. I don't know if it's good or bad. Depending on what your relationship is with your thank you for your service, I don't know if you should or shouldn't watch Warfare. Because to me, as a lifelong non-combatant, uh, that thing was way too authentic. It felt too authentic. Anyone who's seen Warfare, I think, and by that I mean the movie, not actual one, not like Mr. Hurley, who has seen Warfare. Um, oh no, with tinnitus, you like your music louder because you want something to drown out the screaming in your ears. But one of the scenes in the movie, not too many spoilers, somebody throws a grenade into the room that the sniper and his spotter are in. And the guy, they flip all of the stuff in the room over it. So the grenade goes off in the corner of the room under all this stuff, and it goes boom. And then these two guys are severely concussed for the remainder of that film because the whole movie is supposed to take place basically in linear time. And I think it captures that warfare feel pretty well because a lot of the time, those guys don't know what the hell is going on. And I feel like that haze seems accurate. I had a 12 gauge blank firing grenade go off next to my head in an airsoft game. Left me deaf for a week. I watched a guy at the bike shop filling a tubeless tire on a road bike, and he wasn't paying attention, and the bead was pooching out on the side that he wasn't on. And when that thing popped out of the bead, it literally sounded like somebody just popping a 9mm off right inside the building. And he couldn't hear anything. He said the whole world just went woo and just stayed like that. And I was like, well, enjoy your future tinnitus. Would you get better performance out of the Anjora Swampers by soaking them in simple green? The best I can say is odds are you won't make them worse. But soaking a tire is really only going to get into the... Now, if you ask me the question of if you took your Anjora Swampers and you put them in an autoclave or a pressure vessel, put simple green in that, and then put the tires in that, or if you sous vide them in simple green so you could get greater penetration, then maybe. But simple green is basically only going to soften the very outer surface. I fired a .44 Magnum in an open field and was surprised how loud it was outdoors with nothing to reverb off of. Yeah. My first experience was everybody's friend, good old 226. The hole is so small. How so loud? And it is piercing loud. I would rather somebody fire off hunting rifles next to me all day than be near no ear pro while 223/556 is getting fired. The sound seems to just bypass everything and go directly deep into your ear holes. Oil of wintergreen. You mix oil of wintergreen and rubbing alcohol. And I've been meaning to buy oil of wintergreen forever, but it was right around when the tariffs started. And, in California, it's hard to get anything that's liquid. They don't want us to have liquid. So the cost of buying a quart of oil of wintergreen has been prohibitive. Because I want to try softening up tires that aren't soft enough. Oh, you got yours pre-mixed. Yeah, glycerin as well. I threw a tin lighter gas in a fire when I was 11. Got showered in firewood. Went boom, surprisingly quick. Yeah. All right, well, two people in California. Ooh, we're going to play a game to find out how far away we are while living in the same state. I am in the Inland Empire of Southern California. I would say that in terms of things with motors in them, Top Fuel going to Pomona Dragway is the loudest thing, is the second loudest thing I've ever heard. It is unconscionably loud when they get into the Top Fuels and everything. Oh, Pomona, you're very close. You're like 30 minutes away. Kart IRL IndyCar is pretty close because they scream. Indy cars are the 223 of the automotive world. There, wow, it's kind of hideous. The red with not as red, gross. Right behind that, Monster Jam. Monster Jam is unbelievably loud. Oh, we can't because it's going on the Twins. It would be deeply confusing if we were to mess with the coloring. Jet car at the drag strip keys into the loudest thing I have ever heard in my entire life is at the air show at Norton Air Force Base in the late 80s, early 90s. An AV-8B Harrier jump jet did a vertical takeoff and landing right in front of us, probably 200 to 300 yards away. Did a vertical, it came in, it flew in, it did this, it went down, touched down, and took off again. And when it took off like this, when it got to right about, I don't know, 50 feet off the ground, the way I mention it is, it sounded like the sky was made of canvas and God was ripping it in half. It was so loud that when you shoved your fingers into your ears, it was still loud. It was the loudest thing I have ever heard. And they say that a space shuttle taking off is even louder. And I'm like, yeah, but they won't let you within like 3 miles of that. This was like 200 yards away. I think a space shuttle launching would just put you deaf. But vertical takeoff, man. Those dudes out there on the runway must have earbuds, must have plugs with cans over them, because otherwise it's still going to put you deaf. Yeah, the F-22 can't fly by itself, so they have to overcome aerodynamics with brute force. Yeah, pretty cool what us humans have built with our hands. Yeah, that's another one of those things that makes me so angry when people are like, aliens did it! Give us some credit, right? We built satellites. We've built, well, basically the space shuttle counts as a spaceship. We've built all manner of things, some incredibly complex. And they're like, there's no way we built the pyramids. That's a pile of rocks. You're Belinda. I know where that is. That's not that far. You're not that far. You're not that far. It's amazing what Americans will build when we're bored. Yeah. And we're bored easily. I Dad changes oil and equipment at a mine. And there's one enclosed generator with a V16 cat diesel that he has to wear earplugs and earmuffs to go inside. Yeah. There's absolutely nothing new under the sun. We're just taking energy and we're organizing it the way we like to organize it. A10s at air shows, always amazing. One of the greatest moments at an air show, though, this would have been late, but somewhere between 88 and 92, somewhere in there. Because, you know, Norton closed down in 92. So before that, there was an F-16, and they had recently, at that time, gone to the new air superiority scheme on the F-16s, where it's like dark gray on the top. It basically looks like a shark. It's dark gray on the top and light gray on the bottom with the fake canopy painted on the bottom. And we're used to, what color are military airplanes? They're camouflage. That's what they are. They're camouflage. Except for ones in the Navy, which are gray. But they're camouflage. And this, we're like, gray? And that F-16 taxied down the main runway, which runs roughly, it's kind of they always land going southwest. And they take off. They tend to take off this way. It depends on the wind, right? So basically, relative to where I am right now, the runway goes like this. So sometimes when planes miss their path, they go over our house because they're, I don't know, idiots. And that F-16 taxied out on the runway, and it went like this, and then it made the turn right like this, and right as it turned and went like that, it went, boing, and it just disappeared. And you could hear, and you couldn't see anything. Because at that time, we still had smog like soup. We still had the safe air. You know, you can see it. You know, it's not going to sneak up onto you. So we're all looking around, and you can just hear like a rumble. And we're like, what is that? And he came, this was back in this is how you know we're talking about the old days. They could fly over the crowd. Like they didn't just have to go back and forth over the runway. He snuck up behind us. We're all facing this way. And he came this way and went right over the crowd. And I think now he would have given somebody a heart attack nowadays. What was he asking? Did somebody ask him what motor was ran second today on the... Oh, I have no idea. How many did we do on the dyno? 4? The HPI was on there first. And then we ran... yeah, the HPI was on there. And then we ran the Reedy. It was the Reedy 16-turn 5-slot 540. And then we ran the big block. And then we ran the Injora Tune Machine 45. Is that right? I think that. Oh, the one after the Reedy? Yeah, it would have been NHX. It would have been the NHX Momentum 540 plus V2 16-turn. Are you going to the RC 4-wheel drive Bigfoot run in July? I have never heard of it, nor do I know where it is. Oh yeah, if it was the good one, yeah. It's the big block. Still available all over on Amazon. I put links up to it all the time. I would say 16-turn is the safest one to buy, unless you have a lot of gear reduction. Because I run 16 turns in the Portal Guys. That's what you're putting in the Yikong. In the Yikong, I would get the 20. Because that thing has no gear reduction. It has none. 29-1 in low. And 12.5-1 is high. Lightweight always guy. 29-1 final in low. Even elements are getting you near 40 to 1. Like you need so there's no mechanical advantage. You're doing it all. I feel like I should have done this yesterday, but instead I carried plywood, got under my bench, and made a general mess of things. And I still haven't fixed what's directly under here, but I moved all of the bins from there. Have you seen the old video of a reporter talking about the Supermarine Spitfire and it did a flyover from like behind it, like 30 feet? Yeah, top fuel, you have to have ear protection on. Try to get everything in mind between 45 and 50 to 1. I mean, it would. Yeah, I agree. I'm on with Mo Trapper 100%. Lightweight sometimes. Lightweight sometimes. Not always. Not always. Because sometimes it's just not needed. I never tried a Holmes Hobby, but I notice a lot of his low turns I see are 11s and whatever. Yeah, but they're all 5 slots. So just like the 16 turn 5 slot was like 1650 kV, it's going to be much closer to like a 30 some odd turn 3 slot. That's how it gets confusing. That's how they confuse you. Not always needed. Not always needed. There is a point of diminishing returns in both directions. As I think that the lightweight always ethos is not as bad, but it is similar in concept and approach to people who just throw a gajillion pounds of brass at stuff when it doesn't need it. Typically, a rig is going to need like some knuckle weights, heavyweights sometimes. It needs to be lightweight, except when it isn't. Oh yeah, we're not matching reds at all. These are just reds. You do realize that the extent of my madness is so great that in order to test these head to head against each other, I had to buy 2 sets of wheels to do it. Because otherwise the wheels wouldn't match. And yes, I tried to buy my one set, the 8 holes. I tried to buy those again. Currently unavailable. Can't find them. I bought them in 2021, so, fair. My wife likes to dress in different shades of the same color. That's diabolical. I won't wear a black t-shirt if I'm wearing black shorts because I know they'll be different colors. Yes, 5 slots have a lower turn for the same KV. Right. So roughly, not like don't take this as written as gospel, but this 5 slot 16 turn and this 4 slot 30 turn should be around the same KV. So they should be around the same final speed. What I was saying is basically what's the difference between 3 slot and 5 slot? So a 5 slot basically where's my motor I cut open? So most of the black on here is spray paint because when I was spray painting the thing, it was still clamped to it. Would you please? Could you please? So there's our 5 slots. There's our windings around it. That used to be a fan. I had to turn that off to fit it in the lathe. So look at you can see where they balanced it. So even in a crappy reedy, they still do all the work. They still do all the work. Basically, for whatever reason, this, and my assumption is that in a 2-slot motor, I threw the can away. I threw the can away. So you have 2 magnets, right? They're like this, and this is rotating in between it. So basically, with the 5-slot, it's less likely for this part where nothing happens to line up with the opening, this part in here, between the magnets where nothing is happening. So it's going to make this, the catch-all word is smoother. They feel smoother, but they produce less torque. They generate less torque because the wire in that is pretty small. That's like 26 or 28 gauge. Whereas if I don't have one of these open, I wish I could open one of these up. I'm trying to see if there's an end belly you can see through, but no. The wire in a 3-slot of even a comparable, so like a 30 or 35 turn, that wire is going to be about twice the size of the wire that's in that one. But it's going to vary. It's going to vary from maker to maker, which is why a motor of 1 turn count can be faster than another motor of the same turn count. The only real safe way is to just, I guess, find the one you like and just buy that one over and over again. Yeah, skewed armatures, smoother transitions, because it's much more difficult for the part where nothing happens to line up. Fat wire in the 9-turn, yeah. Imagine what it's like in a 3.5 turn. I remember 1-turn drag motors. I don't know how is that possible? They only wrap the wire around it once. That's got to be very efficient. just a wire. Now I want to see the blue against the blue. That's why we're putting a blue together. Did somebody ask earlier if I ate? Yes. I had taquitos. It's delicious. I had a terrible night of sleep. You don't realize how cold the bed is, you know? And my wife's in Long Beach. And their room got upgraded. They have a harbor view. Yeah, more turns, more slots, smaller wire. Because you got to fit all that wire in the same amount of space. Everybody loves slots. They feel different. Neil Daniels absolutely baffled as to what a taquito is. Are you going to do more extensive mods to the second set of Red 2.2s? I mean, I could. Single turn motors are used in many industrial machines. Mucho grunto. The red and the blue feel exactly the same. These aren't as tacky on the inside, but I think that's because they're used. If they were fresh out of the bag, I think they would both feel identical. So the blue set was a moment of breath holding as they arrived in the dreaded Amazon green bag with the LPN label. And I realize now why that is. There's a missing bag of hardware. This is not particularly a problem for me, but it could be a problem for someone. We'll just dig the bins. In your part of the country, it should be called a rolled taco. It's taquito. And I'm the only one in the house that eats them. That's why I keep buying them. I don't know, like, what else could I do to the other set of reds? Like, I don't want to just keep cutting lugs off until they no longer resemble their former selves. Oh, there's a lot more extras. The others were precision counted 1. Yeah, it's basically a rolled taco, but not because I get the ones that are chicken and cheese. I like the. It's. I mean, technically, at least from my understanding, I'm not telling people how to do things, but I was under the understanding that if it was in a flour tortilla, it was a flauta. Um. So I get the ones with the flour tortillas. Flauta. Wait, so the older will eat pickle ice and have tortilla chips with breakfast, but won't eat taquitos? Correct. He would also, his most diabolical, the phase that he went through, is that he would eat corn dogs. He would go through the boxes of Costco corn dogs like nobody's business. And I kid you not, he would take a corn dog, he would wrap it in a paper towel, he would put it in the microwave, and he would heat it for 40 seconds to where the hot dog in the center is still cold, and then he would eat it. I love how you immediately change your accent to speak Spanish. Well, I mean, you have two choices as an American. You have two choices. There are no other choices. Your first choice is you can say, yes, I will have a tortilla and a chimichanga. And I would like for dessert, I would like a chocolate croissant. Or you can make fun of their language tacitly. You can say, yes, I would like a burrito. And could you double wrap it with an extra flour tortilla? And then I would like some extra guacamole. And for dessert, pan au chocolat or a croissant. If other languages we don't get to overpronounce things here. It's not fair. Jumbo yak. Can the ring and pinion on a TRX4 axle be flipped to reverse rotation? Yes, but also no. Yes, they can because they're center pinion. No, they can't because the housings are handed. You would have to get a it shouldn't be a problem. Because when I built the one that has a 3000 kV, you don't need to reverse. A TRX4 and an AR44 are ready to go. It doesn't need any reverse gears. You just run a normal gear in the front and a normal gear in the TRX4, and they both rotate the same direction. So I guess what I'm trying to say is compared to a typical straight axle, the TRX4 is already counter-rotating. It rotates the opposite direction. So yes and no. And that could also make you look like you do it on purpose. Overpronouncing using the accent is why I'm not allowed to order Chinese food. Here's how I order Chinese food. I'll have a 22 and a 39, a 45, and a 51. And that is my actual Chinese food order. Flawless on the phone, constant buffering, and every time it comes back, it's a few seconds behind. That is, have you tried turning it off and turning it back on again? Are you on a mesh? That sounds like the mesh is misbehaving. My buddy's PlayStation did that. Or there was some setting in it that he was getting like, I'd like a tortilla, por favor. Tell you what. That's how I speak Spanish to my mother-in-law, whom you witnessed. Because she speaks the Espanol, Espanol. And I say, oh man, I do love a good taco. Maybe a burrito. Depends on what kind of tortillas it's made out of, I guess. Yeah, that's how the Chinese want you to order. Yes. I'm not going to try to pronounce it. I know how to say Szechuan, but I still don't want to do it. But any romance language is fair game. That doesn't see blue is just more cooperative. Did you know there's one company that makes a bolt-on dig unit for the TRX4 Trans? Yes, but it's 3D printed. And 3D printing and dig seems like just actively courting disaster. Because dig is requesting a part to stop all motion of the hind axle. I mean, purple. There's no purple here. That is a deep and vibrant blue. Except for the tires, which are a powdery, soft sort of sky blue. The red is getting the red is growing on me. My wife got me a coffee cup that says "Como se llama" with a picture of a llama. Como se llama. It's hard to say "Como se llama." The rims are purple, sir, sir, sir. There's not a hint of purple in that. Like, what have I got? So, like, are the handles of these pliers purple too? That's blue. Yes, the Spaniard, 100%. That's blue and bluer. It's definitely blue. Ba-da-bum, ba-da-bum. Company I saw is Sedomoxing? Sedomoxing. Purple and purpler. Chuck Hurley, I don't know what color blindness, I don't know what combat related color blindness you have, but you've got one of them. These wheels are extremely blue. There we go. Yeah. Light blue and electric blue. Yeah, this is let me pop a back off. Because then there'll be more material. There's no purple to that at all. That is blue. Like real blue. I would argue it's more blue than the red is red. Thoroughly blue. I know the only color I can see, and that's blue. We got another one that says it's purple. I see blue, but I could see how people say purple. Yeah, I mean, purple's not that far away. Like the Instagram reel about how where she's making fun of brown because there's no such thing as brown. Brown is just saturated orange. And if you go into a photo editing and you take orange and you just slide the saturation all the way up, it's brown. Well, I mean, pink also doesn't exist. That's why it's not the rainbow. What is light purple? Light purple? Lavender? Mauve? I mean, I've got purple wheels. Hold on. That was a small revelation of memory. Not in the first drawer, maybe in the second. Okay, folks. This wheel is purple. Does it look more or less purple now? Ah, what color rhymes with purple? What is light purple? Blue? I'm most curious as to what Aaron. What color are these? What color is that? Yeah, Blue and gray blue. Colorblindness sounds wild. That's very close to the same color. And these are inarguably blue. Some of y'all's need to get checked. You need to go to a place where they have a thing and there's a man. And the man at the place with the thing can find out what's wrong with y'all's. Because I've got a little bit of red green. Sometimes stoplights look blue. Like the green light at a light looks blue. It looks more blue to me than it looks green. Then somebody told me that's because they do that on purpose because of people that are colorblind. And it's been confirmed now, incidentally, by the guy who the only color he can see is blue, which is why stoplights, well, the green light at a stoplight is more blue than it is green because people who are red-green colorblind can't tell the difference between a red light and a green light, but they can tell what blue is. Look at that. I did not know that. I don't think those are purple. I'm just having fun. I mean, ultimately, they are the color that they are. 100% of green light is teal and has a little more blue in it. Yeah. Why are you building yellow wheels? There it is. There it is, everybody. Here's why somebody returned them on Amazon. I didn't even get to that one, and it's got the snapped off screw head in it. I am definitely not sweating one screw. I don't know if I could physically care less. Maybe we'll these are never coming apart. Maybe I'll just lop the threads off of one and super glue the head in. You know, if I remember. That's a huge if. We need more colored tires. They need to make gray and brown and tan tires. I got a set of beadlocks that had a broken tap in one of the holes. The guy at the factory was like, "Yeah, good enough." You already have gray ones, but they're not gray to us. Gonna throw off the weight of the twins. Yeah. Well, I still haven't changed the servo in the one, so they are. I've lost many things. My mind leading among. Let's get my other one. On the ground? No. I don't know what I did with the 2.5. I actually, you might think that that's the case because I'm about skewing the weight, but to get their weights perfect, I had to remove beadlock screws on the beadlocks from both of them to get them to be completely perfectly balanced. Now I'm not really worried about it. A few grams isn't going to be all the difference. The observer effect is so extremely pronounced when driving the two of them because they still feel different to me, even though I know that's basically impossible. How did you get a fusion in misdirection? Misdirection has a stealth X. and the Fusion fits easy. She is motor plate to the front, and she is on a Spare Time Hobbies flat skid. Well, was on a Spare Time Hobbies flat skid. Now she's just on a regular Element skid. It just drops it down a little. Yeah, there are a lot of tires. It's how this is how we do. We pile up tires everywhere. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do the arm. Let's see. Excellent. Go back a little. Yeah. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that. It only took me 20 years to get a proper foxtail. I got one that's made from actual horses. I assume they don't kill the horses. We have an array of townhomes down the street that they started building just before COVID in 2019, and they finished like 2023. It took them 4 years to build them. They're building like the next section of it. Let me put it to you this way. They're going a lot faster. Oh, hey. Mo Trapper with the 20. With the 20. I'm going to wait. I'm going to blow that money. I'm going to blow that money on stupid toy car stuff. So stupid. Just so much toy car stuff. And we're going to see. We're going to see we're going to see if we can give away more rigs in 2026 than we gave away in 2025. It's a lofty goal. I picked up an AGU-FRC 66 LP, and I'm almost certain I'll need a BEC. I don't run one. What? Well, okay, Mr. It might be your father, but Mr. Crispy, what is your current power situation? What BEC do you have now? And by that I mean, like, what motor are you running? Not motor. What ESC are you running? Do you think you could bribe the oldest with pickle ice to film with you? Absolutely not. I tried to have him record one time. He is not cut out for it. How's it going? It's going great. I'm having a good time. My back hurts a little, and I think that's because I know this is an old people thing. I think I got a chill when I was sleeping. I'm going to get myself an extra blanket. Oh, wait, no, they'll be home tonight. Yay! I'm getting into the WeRC Rockstyle comps in UK. If you were building some for that, what style cage? What for that style? What cage you get? I would probably go RC Speedy. And I would try to talk myself out of the titanium, and then I'd probably end up getting something in titanium because the cages are so heavy. Or alternately, a plastic Injora one if they allow it. You know, I would either spend a lot of money or as little money as possible. Fusion Elite or Secure? Oh, if you have a Fusion Elite, you'll have no problem. If you have the Secure, they make an Escape 32 that has a 10 amp on it. If you get that one, again, you have no problem. Like, if you haven't bought it yet, I mean, if you get an Elite, you're good. Because the internet claims 10 amp BEC in that. Can't gift memberships from phone. You can only do super chats. Oh, I didn't know that. They don't allow plastic. It has to be metal. Isn't that an old person thing that you'll... Yeah. Sometimes my chills feel like they're multiplying. And I'm trying to remember the next line. Yeah, I know where you're going with that. Yeah, but I did get a chill. The bed is so cold with one person in it. And then it was windy. And I think that's what really did it. And then a cat walked across my face at 4 o'clock in the morning. And you know it was Frank because it was. Stupid Francis. I told him I was going to open the door and just let him go to the wild. Oh yeah, a hot water bottle like a proper old person. I have a heating pad that was recalled by Amazon. That like it had the recall notice that said whatever you do, don't keep using this. Contact the seller or whatever. I mean, they never say take this here, return it, and you'll get a refund. They're just like, you should stop using the thing that you paid for that we messed up. Now that wind is in Arizona. Yeah, it was supposed to continue through the day, the wind, but it's gone. Like it ain't even breezy outside. Just Frank doing Frank things. Yeah. Frank is a little bit of Spike the Owl. If you haven't seen the YouTube short of Spike the Owl that got trapped in a boxcar, you should look up Spike the Owl. Gonna buy my first Outrunner motor. Do I need a specific ESC? Yes. You need an AM32 type controller, like a secure Escape 3270M, or you can opt for the Injora 10BL80, which is not AM32 architecture, but it is very friendly and user-friendly and forgiving and easy to mount. So that is an option. The two secure options, the 70 amp and the 120 amp, are my primary recommendations because they can program via Wi-Fi from your phone or laptop or whatever. They're the easiest to set up. And the same with the flashlight option. No Amazon to return it though, so it's still in my garage. If it sets on fire, it's safe enough. 90-mile-an-hour wind here last night. No, we did not have that. Anything other than Castle for Outrunners, correct. I read Fleshlight at first. I did too. Did I say Injora 10BL80? Hobby Wing. Branded account. Yeah. $123 miles an hour in Cornwall. Nope. Oh, okay. So I did say Injora. Yeah, Hobby Wing 10BL80, which are fairly commonplace. A few dollars cheaper than an Escape 32. But the Escape 32 will give you more of a... I mean, you can see them head to head. I did a video of it about 2 weeks ago. You can see the 10BL80 versus an AM32, the Escape. Please tell me that Francis is a black cat. No, Francis is the stereotypical dictionary image of a brown tabby. He is also a menace. Here he is. Francis. Don't be fooled into thinking that he's thinking something. He's not. Frank is has the smoothest of brains. But along with that, for some reason, he's unnecessarily photogenic. I don't know what it is about the stripy man. I don't know what it is. If I was going to build the twins again, if I was going to do it again, they'd probably be Elements, just because there's more room. There's more like physical space, easier to work on. Even if you're going to be dumb, you better be pretty. Yeah. It would just be easier to work on Element. I built those because I Francis looks like he has a high credit score. Yeah, he's the wife's favorite. He told my wife told the eldest that Francis was her favorite son, and he tried to hide it a little bit, but you could tell that on the inside it hurt him a little to hear that the cat son is her favorite son. Yeah, VS410s are just, they're kind of annoying to work inside of, the way the rails are molded and how much plastic there is. If they were both on Element chassis, they'd be like at least half a pound lighter than they are now. Yeah, VS410 is. Yeah, Francis never uses buy now pay later. No, he's a cash on the barrel type of guy. My membership is auto deducted anyways. That never goes away. In fact, it just renewed this afternoon. Yeah, I have, because I think I did the video, the little intro video about now. Hey, look, we have channel memberships now. I want to say that was on the 28th of the month, because on the 28th of every month, the little revenue goes burp. There's a little bump. Nothing beats being constantly told you were a mistake in a field at a festival in the 60s. Parents were hippies, go figure. Mr. The man from Scotland, let me tell you something. Uh, I can get into the same category with you, but I think it's even better, because once in my early 20s, my mother told me, and I quote, "I never wanted to be a mother." So, that's a phrase where you go, well, I'm not gonna take that personally. Um, let's just say, did they say one of the ways we cope is dark humor? I didn't get coat hangered, so I got that going for me. Yeah, the trauma bonding has begun. I was trying to decide between an RTR and a VRD carbon. I bought the latter. No regrets, thanks to one of your videos, putting a Fusion Pro in it. Would you recommend the regular one or the Elite? Ooh, okay. All right. So, the Elite is a little smaller, and it has a bigger BEC. And that's kind of really all it's going for. In a VRD, like the Pro is kind of like my choice, right? Here's the thing. You bought a carbon, so you're already ahead, right? You bought a carbon instead of any kind of RTR, so you're already well ahead. What you're going to ask yourself is, I don't think you're giving away any appreciable amount of performance going with the smaller power available in the Elite versus the Pro, right? So you have to ask yourself, is it worth that $25 to you for 4S capability, whether you ever use it or not, and for the bigger BEC, and for the ability to remotely disable your drag brake? I mean, if you don't need any of those things, then save the $25 and get the regular Pro instead of the Elite, and then spend that $25 on something else. I had questions. Like, I was filled with questions when they announced the Elite. And then when I drove it, I was like, you know what? This is really nice. I like this. And but let me put it to you this way. I believe I said it in the videos, and I'll say it again right now. I can't think of a single situation where I would remove a Pro and put an Elite in. right? If I started with one, there's no need to put in the other. If it's fitment, or like if you're building a Jolly Green, right? The Pro Elite is not a bad choice because a Stealth X with TRX 6 axles is a mountain of reduction. You can actually get away with 4S on a 2300 fairly easily. So there is no perfect power plant. Honestly, the Fusion Pro is about as close as it gets. But there are a lot of things it doesn't fit in. Best motor for a dual motor transmission Capra. I would say dual Outrunners, like Secures. That's what I put in mine, because it's small. It's so small. Would you be tempted to get an Outrunner to give the flexibility of servo behind the axle and stubby? No, I would not. I don't believe, and I say this because I've done it. The only reason you should be running a stubby in a VRD is if you have changed the chassis. A stubby is for a Brazen Frontline or a Zoku FF or one of the other skid forward VRD conversions. On the traditional geometry, as it is set up, run the full motor, run the full can on the full length because it keeps the motor so much lower. When you go to a stubby kit, regardless of what other componentry changes, and even though the servo moves down behind the axle, your CG still goes up. Because you've taken the heaviest individual component of the vehicle and you've replaced it with something smaller that also has its speed control up higher. For what I do and how I drive the regular Fusion SE motor suit me perfectly. Yeah, I can't think of a single instance. No, I can think of a couple, but not many, where I had previously run an SE and then upgraded to a Pro. I buy Pros because I need the KV. I need more RPM. 1800 does it most of the time. What whines more, the 1060 or the 1060? Yeah, the Goop's not bad. The Goop isn't too bad. The Goop has a fairly typical level of pulse width noise. I'm trying to remember which one I tested. It was some low budget offering, but man, you could pull the trigger about 15-20% of the way and it would just go with no forward motion at all. There's some real high quality equipment in there. The 1060s, I mean, I know that there are probably, like if we went full forensic on them and started pulling them apart, we would probably find differences in all of the 1060s and rebadged 1060s. But most of them are fairly snarly. I think it was that I tested something that the OE was a 1040. That speed control is terrible. There's no excuse for the 1060 to still exist. Which whines more, the 1060 or Aaron's wife? Whoa! That's wild. That feels like a shot fired. It felt so personal. How would you rank the J Concepts 393 offerings? I would say that the Tusk, the 393 Tusk, is every bit as good as the 419 Tusk. It's just smaller. If you need smaller and you can't afford to give up the clearance, then you can get the 393s. Like if you got a hard body something or something. I genuinely don't like 393s. I don't think. Like currently, they're all boxed right now. There's nothing fleet wide that's on 393s. I go to 419 and I kind of stop there. I need that. I need that three. I need that 3/10 of an inch, which is a very American. I feel is a very American thing to say. 3/10 of an inch. I kid because I care. My wife wants to start doing a wheeling day. She only wants to do minimal crawling. What truck would you recommend? Honestly, nowadays, right now, as we are speaking together, the in terms of price to performance, the dang FMS Camels are kind of the best way to go for something that's more trail heavy, less crawling oriented. They look good. You put a Fusion, you put an SE 1200 in it, put some trials with some tires on it, and you're done. That's all that is on the two trail ones that we have. That's it. That's the thing. See, the 41011, to get it to the level of the FCX10s, even the detuned FCX10s, it's going to cost as much. Well, I mean, like right now, the Camels, you can get the Camels regularly for $339. Go and look at like what you get from Element for $339. The Cattleman kit was $369. That's a crime. That is a crime. Now, see, for somebody just getting into it, I would never recommend the FJ. Like in stock format, it's okay. It's not great. If you are a tinkerer and a builder, all I can see is that missing screw. It's like a tooth got knocked out. If you are a tinkerer and a builder and you're willing to put the time and money into it, it's the FJ. Like I think everybody should have one. But my wife has an FJ because she has a mechanic to work on it and maintain it and repair it when he backs into it with his metal bumper and cracks her fender and et cetera, et cetera. The Camel trophy trucks in terms of value per dollar they're just so far ahead. They are imperfect, but they're actually quite good. And if she doesn't know anything about driving and crawling, meaning she has no experience, you can run it for a while on the stock tires. You just run it on the OE tires and wheels, and then as her skill set improves, you can update the wheels. You can put nicer wheels and tires on it. What trail buggy? Oh wait, I'm currently testing a Hobbywing Elite in my new comp chassis. Our competition style requires speed in certain moments, so I'm taking advantage of 4S. Yeah, yeah. It's when you need. It's the like I have talked in person to people who will only run 4S, and that's crazy. Like 4S is not necessary most of the time. I have two 6x right over there. One runs 3S and one runs 4S. One is servo on axle and one is chassis mounted steering. And they basically drive exactly the same. TRX4, if you can get a good deal on, I would honestly say the TRX4 is the top for flexibility, durability, reliability, all of that. But I would definitely not put it up high on the list of rigs I would trail. Because if you look at our whole trail fleet, it goes straight axle, straight axle, straight axle, straight axle, straight axle, straight axle. The only portaled bodied vehicle that we have is the TRX4, and it's loud. Wants or needs question: have you ever used one of the Holmes Crawlmaster Magnums? No. Oh, that's what this is. This is an economically manufactured Holmes Magnum without the machined can, just using a stamped. Is it a surpass can? Just using a stamped can. But innards wise, it's the exact same way that the Magnum is built. TRX6 trail rig, you could, but it would not be economical. You know, it would absolutely work. And depending on how, like a stock TRX6, yeah, you could actually really trail a stock TRX6 with the full body and everything. I wouldn't trail a Jolly Green. Right? It's too much gear reduction. It's built specifically to go slow, not be at fixed levels of throttle for 45 minutes. I was looking for Enduro and Stealth XF gears, and most parts seem to be out of stock or discontinued. No, I mean, you can still find them. It's just that Associated, like if you order directly from Team Associated, they'll have everything. It's that there was the whole hullabaloo slash foofara between Horizon and Associated. And so you're not going to find any Element or Associated parts at places that are part of the Horizon network. If I could change one aspect of the Wizard, what would it be? Honestly, I would change two aspects of the Wizard. I don't think that the Wizard has enough weight to make proper use of those gold compound KLRs. So I changed the tires. Then, secondly, I don't think that the included shocks, which are good, tough to build, but good, I don't think that those shocks have long enough travel for the rig to handle the way I want it to handle. So I changed the shocks. I'm basically running Traxxas GTS on my Wizard. So I would make those, and that's what I did. On my Wizard, they are TRX4 shocks and megalithics. Because I have found that those KLRs work great on rigs that are about 1.5 pounds heavier. Even with those super soft and squishy halos, about 1.5 pounds heavier than the Wizard. The Wizard's just too light. It's all machined in metal, but it's just too light. No, I would have used 2660s, but I was making an order on A-Main. I don't remember. I was ordering something. And I found out they make black anodized GTS. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, no, I'm sorry. They're like black Teflon coated GTS. I was like, what? Wait, what? So I bought the bodies and I had all the parts here to build the shocks. So that was one of those things that I do because I can. Really need to get a Fusion SE and a servo to get my Element Acto back on the trails. Yeah, you do. Get back out there. I don't feel C rating matters much for us. It doesn't. Do you find 41011 plastic hex are the same FMS Canyon, but Canyon come in metal you can buy from FMS? Yes, that is what they've said. Or you can get just a cheap Amazon 2.5 millimeter drill bit out. Drill out the pin from 2 millimeter to 2.5 and run TRX4 hexes. And I would do that over ordering from FMS because I have this many TRX4 hexes. So would it not seem would it not seem crazy for me to order 4 6 millimeter bore hexes when I can get a drill bit for $1, actually less than $1. I bought a variety pack of I don't remember what they tried to claim. I think they claim they're cobalt. They are definitely not. But I bought 100 drill bits for $20. So 20 cents a piece. I ordered Traxxas GTS shocks, but they didn't come with springs. What spring do you recommend for a 5-pound trail truck? You are going to want either Traxxas yellows, element greens, element whites. Element greens are 0.7 pounds. Traxxas yellows are, somebody's going to have to check the spreadsheet and tell me. I want to say they're like 1.3. They're close to what element whites are, 1.3. In general, as a general rule of thumb, you want an amount of springing which is roughly equal to the weight of the vehicle at most. Now, for full rock crawlers, it's going to be less. Like for instance, when everybody was giving me business that Yukio was leaning to the side, Yukio was running the 1 pound springs that come with those longer. They're in a drawer now because their shocks have been replaced. So she was running shocks of this length, right? Big holes. These are 1 pound on the spring rate. So she was running 4 of those. That's 4 pounds of springs, and Yukio weighs just shy of 9 pounds. So that torque's got to go somewhere. But on the GTS, like if you have 4 1.3, now it also depends on how much lean. If your shocks are straight up and down, you could probably actually get away with just like element whites all the way around. 1.3s. The Range Rover is the only vehicle here that still has plastic hexes, only because I don't get paid till the 18th, and I'll order a few more sets. Yeah, for me, a wheel hex either needs to be through pin, preferably, or have a set screw that go, or have a screw pin, set screw or a through pin. Through pin, preferably set screw at the minimum, because nobody makes an element hex that is through pin because of the way they oriented their holes. What is the most economical to build your green Ford Class 1.5? Green. Which is my green Ford? Green Ford. What? Green? What Ford do I have that's green? You meant purple. Purple Ford? What? I've got yellow, and I've got brown. That's not a Ford. Does he mean Voodoo Ranger? Is that who we're talking about? Oh, and don't forget that's just TRX4 hexes. See, I can reach into the loose hex drawer. Well, hex ASMR. Just start collecting them, All right. So to properly be the Voodoo Ranger, you're going to need 2 things. You need Mias nylon straights, and you need the pre-runner F100. But then underneath, you can use whatever you want. Like, Voodoo Ranger is a Stealth X on a flat skid in between some Zoku ZRD rails. And like chassis wise, I don't think the chassis, these are Element Factory teams. I don't think the shocks, um, I don't think the chassis really makes any much of a difference here. Like if this was a Gold Rush, or if this was a Gold Rush V2, or if this was a whatever chassis you like, I think it's the he went together well, but he is thoroughly uncomplicated, right? This build, like say we're using a Gold Rush instead of this chassis. On it, 160. We never count wheels, right? 350. 4. He's sub $500. He's under $500. Even outfit, even with the if we count the dynamic, I mean, you could go. I went this way because you'd want something short, but if he was running just a regular outrunner, it would fit equally well. Or a FureTech 2-in-1 would fit in the same space. He is not a complicated build at all. Are you speaking about Mia's Gold Rush? Yeah. I mean, I didn't build this. This is an assembly. And I think I got, it's even using stance upper links. Look at those little pencils. This is wildly uncomplicated, which is why it's funny that he's the best of the 1.5s. He is the one that, even with the portal guys that are 1.5, this is the one that drives like it doesn't have 419 tires on it. And, above all else, he can do the thing. It's bonus points if he can do the thing. As soon as you say Zoku, it's expensive. It isn't. I mean, here's the thing. He priced to the market. I was telling him from the beginning that he wasn't charging enough. Because if you want expensive, I haven't heard from that guy. That guy was supposed to send me a package, like, literally before Proline. And then I was supposed to talk to him at Proline, and then they had a death in the family and he didn't go. I haven't talked to that guy since the weekend of Proline by the Fire. So that's 3 months. That dude has like a life, like a real life, like in a job and other stuff. Yeah, he popped into the Discord for like 10 minutes and never showed up again. Last time I talked to him, he said he hadn't put a battery in a crawler in like 2 months. So, life intervenes for some. I don't have a life to intervene, so it helps. Any chance you'll revisit building a straight axle Phoenix? Can't help but feel the process was expedited to get Eddie on portals. Oh, well, yeah, no. Eddie has been here for a long time. He was built that way on straight axles. He was on F10s. He was on F10 straights. And I have a singular vehicle in the entirety of the fleet that is on F10 straights and a VFD gearbox, and I actually like it. I strongly prefer the VFD with portals. I'm not 100% sure why. I just know that that's how it is. So I don't much, because a straight axle Phoenix is a Fordyce. And now, if you buy one now, that new one, that's just a Fordyce. It doesn't even have, that's a Fordyce with a Phoenix body on it. It doesn't even have dig and variable OD. I think you need more gear reduction. I don't think the VFD offers enough gear reduction for straight axles. I think it's a portal gearbox, basically. because you end up putting like a 1200 in it, and it doesn't feel like it's got enough gusto. Just it doesn't feel. I don't know. What about the mullet? Which mullet? My mullet? Well, that now see the mullet is a whole different kettle of fish, as they say, because the mullet is it's on the stubby. He's on a stubby with the BTA and all of that. So he's running a 1400 kV outrunner. So the speed feels fine. And also he's got more gear reduction via because I had to underdrive the front. So we've really, and overdrive the rear. So we've slowed it down quite a lot. So if you go through a bunch of trickeries, you can get there. I want a Consuela that isn't called Consuela. Ooh, good question. What would Consuela's name be? 13-hour shift. Pass. That's a 100% better than you than me. I don't want none of that. I don't want to do anything for 13 hours. I would like to say that I'd like to sleep for 13 hours, but I went to bed at 10:30 and a cat walked on my face at 4 a.m. So that was the extent of my sleep. I got 5.5 hours. Quick run 1700 on a 70 amp. Yeah, it's nice. It's good. And that quick run 1700 is a good option because they're so cheap. $29.99. See, the Secret is a weird girl's name. Maybe it's a Spanish thing. That's quick. That's good. It's my dog's 2nd birthday today. What should I get him? I mean, dogs like meat, right? I like meat. What am I going to have for dinner tonight? Now I'm thinking way ahead now. Feedlock box. So I picked up too much weight yesterday, pretending that I'm not old, and now my quads are all sore. Oh, what are we working on? Oh, nothing. We did this earlier. Steven Turner with another 10. He did it again. He's done it again. Ooh, that is very iffy. Nope. Okay, now you know what? The doofus forgot to turn the clutch down. So now we have, now we got matching wheels. That's what I should do. Mostly just to infuriate the Spaniard. I should just snap one off in each wheel. Pop a color. Okay, that type of screw doesn't fit. Okay, the blue ones require M2x6, but with really small heads. Because if you accidentally grab ones where the heads are a little bigger, they will catch on the sides of the beadlock ring and break. That one's too tight. I built an FF on F10 straights. Yeah, that's what I did. And it wasn't my intention. Oh, these. So, when you order two things of the same color at the same time, you find out that they are not the same. The holes in these beadlock rings are ever so slightly smaller than the holes in the other set of beadlock rings. Pulling out of my little beadlock drawer here, I haven't found a single screw that is the perfectly right size. I'm just laughing about. I thought I was dreaming. Hugo actually has time for us and is here. Oh, Consuela gave Hugo a pass. She said you can. What's a keyboard? A good keyboard to get? I started playing PC games and I need a keyboard. I am a Keychron man, all the way. That one does not fit. They're a little more expensive, but like I like their feel. Or like before I was a key. Look at some of these. Look at some of these. Oh my god. Before I went Keychron, I was a Steel Series guy. Steel Series is, not as expensive as some of the other options, but I run identical Keychrons, well, semi-identical. This is a C2P. This is a C2. This is what I run out here, and I run the basically color inversed one in at my desk. I have the same computer twice. It has that. Yeah, that's nice. They feel good. That's a good keyboard. And they also make Macs, but they make it has the switch on the back so you can switch it to Mac and PC. And because you can get them in red switch and brown switch. Every keycap is adjustable, so you can change all your keycaps if you want to. I am having an absolute struggle with this one because of the Amazon return bag and the no bag of hardware. I have not pulled one single screw that has been the correct size. I have a bunch of loose hardware. Let me grab a different handful of loose hardware and see if that's any better. Maybe the heads on these are slightly smaller. Okay, that is the correct size. Got a Vanquish money for equal depth counterbores. Yeah. That ain't it. You can't expect consistency from a 9-year-old in Asia making wheels for 37 cents a day. Yeah. Well, I mean, it wouldn't even be a problem if it was, the imprecision isn't the problem. Amazon did this. Bagging it up and going, 3 bags of hardware, 4 wheels seems fine. I have successfully found now 3 screws that are the same spec as these. This one should be one. Yep, I did. All right. You know what it is? It's fine. No one will know. Most of my day is spent on an iPad inputting tech notes, so I use Logi Pebble keys. I don't know what that is. I don't like the standard mechanical switches. Low profile reds are similar. Shorter throw means faster repeat inputs. That's crazy. That's a crazy sentence. That's such an aggressive sentence. Faster repeat inputs. Here's what I have to say about that. That's what I have to say. I could be an excellent typewriter if I didn't have bananas on the ends of my wrists, but I do, and I can and do press sometimes up to 3 keys at the same time because my fingers. It's the same with stairs. My feet. Walking downstairs, I've never walked down a staircase where my toes weren't hanging off the end of it. Whole foot on a stair? What is that like? How does that work? Who gets that treatment? The whole live is just red and blue circles. We made motors go in a circle. We made motors make noises. I feel like I should test one more. What one should we test? Quick run 540 30 turn? We can do the 30 turn. It's just been on over here the whole time. Not running. I mean, we could have torture tested it, I guess. Twelves or 13s? 14s. How many, wait, let me get this one. Ooh, 21 turn Titan. That's right, I forgot. First there was enchiladas time, and then there was siesta time, and then presumably there's some other Spanish, like weird Spanish tradition, like when the clock strikes 7, we go out in the street and we punch a man. And if that man gives us some kind of object, we're just mad because we don't have history or tradition here. Where's the other blue-gray tire? I wanted to get all these mounted. Oh, I see it now. Why did no one point this out? You can see it. Test one at 30 volts. Okay. We're going to see how fast a Titan will go. I'm mad I don't have siestas. I am mad that I don't have siestas. I can't think of anything better to end on than just pouring increasingly more voltage into a Titan 21 turn. I have like, I was like, there's 4 extra screws. That's conspicuous. How did we have oh, and there was 1 bag short. 1 bag short. We have the exact number of center bolts. Do we? Yes. Yes. 2 yeses. A yes and a yes. All right, let me unbolt. Let's unbolt the tuned machina. Let's see if we can make sparks by touching the alligator clips together. No! No intrusive thoughts. Jack's Link's Sasquatch-sized beef and cheese stick for dinner, washed down with a Sprite. Somebody's living like they're in college. That is one of the more collegiate sounding meals. Titan 21,550. There is every chance in the world this is the original one from one of the the red tires look much better than the green ones. There's every chance that this is from one of the Defenders. This is either Ironsides or Jolly Green's original. Wonder if I can rotate the label around. Let's see. Can we rotate the torque sleeve around? Yeah. That's as far as it goes. Wait. Hold up. Wait a minute. I have misplaced the I've misplaced the part that I made. Ah! You know what happened? I found it. Damn, you know what? Y'all need to go see an optometrist. 1800 kVh, 30 volts is 54,000 RPM. Now, the plus to that is this is bushed. So the only thing that could explode is the plastic fan. The plastic fan that's on the end of the rotor could absolutely leave the chat. But I'm just moving some stuff out of the way, you know. You know how it is. You know how it is. All right. Wait, did I bump that? How did we get to 7 volts? Someone outside is singing badly. We're going to drown it out. Oh, man. What do we say about the Titan? That thing is a horse. 15 watts. 2 full amps at 7.4. Dang. $15. I call it 15,250. 15,250 divided by 7.4. 2,000. That is 2,000 kV. Well, 2061. That's right, right? Double check. 15.4. Did I say 15.4? Yeah, 2080. You hear that thing getting smoother? Listen to that thing, man. And that 15 watt is like constant. Yeah, it's picking up sauce. 15.5, almost 15.6. 15.6. 15.7. Oh, this is a digital tachometer. So it shines a light out and then it gets it bounced back. And that's how it knows how fast it's going. All right. So where are we going first? $21 watts, 9 volts, 19.5. I'm going to go overhand here. I don't like where my hand was. She's sounding a little dodgy. She's sounding a little dodgy. 26.6. 40 watts. Like, you, hold on. Wait, we gotta pause. Okay. You see where I have to reach to. it's it's feeling oddly. It's barely, barely. Where's my heat gun? I've got this one. Like 80 degrees. Oh wait, for the rest of you. Does that make more sense? 27? 27 degrees? Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. We'll start around 7. 30-volt, clip it on, walk away. All right. You know what? Let's go all the way. Just let's just not like just we say the no explosions. I'm more worried about the things that may come off. Yeah. I'm not worried about this. I'm worried about this. You know what? It's gonna be fine. And I just put Triflow on it, so it smells like bananas. The magic of Triflow. Woo! We going! 32,650. Look at the power go up when I hold everything down. Quick side note. I don't know if the camera was picking it up at all. But right in where's my pointer stick? Right in here, I could see the oil either bubbling or just being friction forced out of the groove where the bushing is seated into the can. That thing was ripping. It was absolutely ripping. And that's not even bad. I'm telling you. Oh wait, we got to get the bearing end. About 85, not bad. Yeah. Oh, and did it spark a little when I unplugged it? If we these have little tabs in them that stop them from rotating. If we could expose the slot in the can, there we go. Give us a little sight hole. Like it's most of that noise is the whole power supply shaking. All right, let's see where we can go. Last pass. Oil light bushings don't need that much oil. Well, it's the oil is like foaming out uh around the bushing, and I can see that the face of it is basically white. Besides, we want to keep its resistance low. We want to see RPMs. I want to see all the RPMs. All right. We did 4S. Listen how nice he sounds. All right. Do we think we can get to 6S? So here's what, okay, like this. I was seeing smoke. Did anybody see smoke? I definitely saw smoke. I don't know what it was from, but I saw it. We didn't. I did not have time to. It's still only got 90 some. I did not have time to get a flywheel on it. That was there was definitely there was definitely vapor. We got to about 20 we got to about 22 volts. And honestly, oh wait, hold on. Where'd I put the driver? I smell a smelly smell that smells smelly. Ooh, yeah. Ho, 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 ho. Whoa. I can't describe the smell. The smell coming out of the front is literally undescribable. That is what pixies smell like. But the back end, fellas, the back end of this smells like when gears die. Like it smells like metal turning to powder. Oh man, it smells like some things happened. It definitely it handled it. The brushes appear visibly worn. It's definitely broken in. That's oh. We almost ejected the can. Almost ejected the torque sleeve. There we go. Because it's like from the front. Imagine if you threw a dryer sheet, if you ran dryer sheets through a paper shredder for an hour. Yeah, this is like a steak coming out of the oven. It has not started to lose heat at all. This thing is still about 90 degrees. It's still nice and toasty warm. Yeah, this thing handled 4S no problem. 6S, it did not like it quite as much. Yeah, I think honestly, I think the watts it was pulling were greater than the power supply could supply. Because I watched it bump up to about 22 volts. And then it started to dip down on the volts because the watts were still going up. I think we passed what the power supply will do. The dog milk power supply could not defeat the Titan. Oh, it was over 220 watts? Don't Don't sleep. This stuff. Look at it. Let's see if we can. It kind of partially sticks together. Now try that with an axial. I don't think the axial will even live to 4S. All right, I got one last thing I want to see. And then I'm going. Oh, you guys keep saying the wife is going to pull the plug. She's in Long Beach. She's at the Anime LA thing where I was supposed to be yesterday. Oh, it's delightful. Check it. Yep. I have to buy more 1x6. I have to buy more 1x6 because I have a bunch of rig. I need a special. I don't know where I'm going to put it, but I know I need to make it. I need a tire rack to hold the twins 1.9s. They need to hold Baseline's tires when they're off for testing. They need to hold Dusty's tires when they're off for testing. They need to hold basically all of the test rigs. And now these guys are test rigs that have 2 different sets of tires. Look at this guy. Like, it's weird, right? It doesn't even look out of place. It's like, it's fine. He's kind of like a donkey mall crawler now. He's got them big, oh no, he's a high trail now. Look at me, Mom, a high trail. But it's all right. It's all right. Blue on blue, soon to be. Red on red, coming soon to a video. Red's going to look weird, I think. Damn it. Look what you're making me do. I mentioned this to you one and all, that my only thing for the new year was attempting to structure my videos better, but no. I meant in terms of personally, I've stopped snacking. And what occurred to me is I'm a sugary snack guy. I go right to the sugary snacks. And that basically means I'm eating very, very little sugar now. Other than like what's already in the food. No, he was right. It does look weird. They're too fresh and shiny. They look so weird. So having given up sugar and snacks, oh my God, they're way too red. How did the body make the wheels look more red? That's crazy. This is LA gear. It's 1987. I went to date myself with that reference. These are narrower than the wheels with the Canyon Trails on them, because the two brothers barely fit in their garage next to each other, but they fit easily now. So we actually made these guys skinnier, because these are so much out the face and these are not. Yeah. That red is like, look how much shine they lose after they've been run twice. Yes, Swatch watch tire color. Like a red lollipop. That boy is red. The only blue on him is the servo. Oh, we're gonna have to do it. I know they make a red 40 kg. I wonder if they make a red 35 kg. Because if they make a red 35 kg, I can just buy that, put it in him, and then take his blue out and put him in the blue one. 50 Shades of Grey right there. I still also have to find out how to get the boys back in. They're still not in there. Oh, the whole quick run system is still in there. I'm going to take all that out. Oh. You know what that is? That's future me's problem. That is future me's problem. It is not my problem right now. Oh, yeah, they fit way better on these wheels. Nice. So something good did come out of the day. We did it. We did it. As a collective, we have triumphed. So, y'all know the deal. Y'all know the deal. Oh, well, you can get an Amazon 40 kg that's red. I just don't know if you can get an Amazon 40. I know you can get also a 25 in red, and I think you can get the 25 in blue. But I don't know if you can get both in both, if that makes as little sense as it felt like. I'm going to get a coffee drink, and I'm going to drink it. And then I'm going to figure out what... There's just the two of us right now. The two convention goers won't be home tonight until probably 8, 9 o'clock at night. So it's just me and the big one. We're going to find out what me and the big one are going to have for dinner. I'm already... Yeah, that you got that right. I'm thinking about dinner at 3:51 p.m. So next time the audio will be fixed, because a restart will fix it. The last restart broke it, so it'll fix it. Have a good one, everybody. There's a video in 8 minutes. So if you haven't had enough of me today, there's more of me today. Bish, bosh. See you all next time. Thanks for being here, everybody. You know where to find me. I'm on the Discord too much. I'm on the Discord too much. And what is my greatest takeaway on the day? I definitely balanced this thing. Because that thing didn't explode. And, well, we can figure it out. It was 2060 kV. And we got it up to 22 volts. That's 45,000 RPM. It survived 45,000 RPM, and I mustn't forget to turn off the mic. See you in the next one, everybody.